The following stream contains mature content and subject matter. Viewer discretion is advised. Chicago. Ask someone to picture the city, and they will have trouble coming up with a concise description. When people think of New York City, they think of skyscrapers, subways, and muggers. When they think of Los Angeles, they think of sun, smog, and traffic. When they think of Detroit, they think of cars, factories, and decay. But for those of us that know, there's only one thing we think of when someone mentions Chicago: vampires. And tonight, we tell their story. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to McStabber Studios' Windy City After Dark. I am the storyteller, Shank It McStabber.
And I'm Reverend, also known as Mama McStabber in Twitch chat, and tonight I'll be playing Jacqueline Duron of Clan Ventru.
And I'm Lady Merowith, and I will be playing Eleanor Thurston of Clan Malkavian.
Good evening, I am the Ivy Raven, and I play Genevieve Schutz of Clan Gangrel.
I'm Urian, and I'll be playing Roscoe Acres, Clan Tremere.
I'm Gavin, and I play Lamar of Clan La Sombra.
I'm Mickey Bear, and I play Sam Grant, Clan Bruja.
And before I go into a brief summary, I'm going to turn this over to my lovely wife to talk about this amazing charity we're raising funds with tonight.
Yes, welcome to our first stream on McStabber Studios in the month of October for the Game Pink initiative with National Breast Cancer Foundation. We are streaming games multiple nights and afternoons per week to raise funds for their initiative this year. They are focused on raising money to get everyone screenings, mammograms, that kind of stuff, because they noticed a trend over the pandemic where people were not getting screened. They were not actively seeking out their preventative measures and their screenings for breast cancer. So they are trying to raise money this year to really make sure that those who have been displaced from their employment, those who are high need, get the screenings that they need. And so we appreciate you participating in our fundraiser. We are pre-recording this, so unfortunately we're not going to be able to break game and thank you live to thank you for your donations, but we really do appreciate every donation that you provide, because every dollar that goes to National Breast Cancer Foundation is used to help people. Truly, they are a wonderful organization. So please consider contributing to the charity if you can, and we will be sure to thank you in Twitch chat while we're all viewing this with you.
Thank you. Much better than I could have done it. And when we were last with this coterie, they gathered together to discuss some information they'd gathered about the Second Inquisition. And then they split up to start gathering additional intelligence on the situation. Jackie went to meet with the wolf pack. She actually found out a little bit more than just stuff about this Noah Flyboy character. Roscoe met up with Tracy Graves and got some rather interesting information. And I think in the end, a number of people came out of it with some additional knowledge, I guess, that people are going to need to share with each other. And then, of course, it ended as Eleanor returned to her haven and found, well, the Justicar is waiting. And we're actually going to pick up tonight, a few nights after these events. Indeterminate amount of nights, of course. And we're opening with a scene where Jackie and Eleanor are meeting up, and I assume in Jackie's haven once again. And I'm going to turn the scene over to Eleanor and Jackie.
As Eleanor is heading over, Jackie knows that she's coming, but she's going to have Michael stop and get some coffee for Etienne and Peter if they're there. And Eleanor is also sending a text to Roscoe and to Sam that says, "Please watch yourselves tonight. Walls may have eyes." And then they get the coffee and go to Jackie's haven.
And of course, this night, Etienne is here. Peter's not here tonight because he's once again filing another report near the airport with a burner phone complaining of a certain car driving erratically.
And out of character, Jackie has already put a bug in her sergeant's ear that if he happens to see something come across about that car, just to let her know.
Okay. And when Etienne gets to the door, he looks, "Miss Eleanor?"
"Hello, Etienne. We brought coffee, one for you and one for Peter." And
Peter's not here tonight, ma'am. He's busy doing other things, but I will, I'll drink
we
both.
did think of him.
It's been a busy week. I will drink both. Thank you, ma'am.
Excellent. Good. It's good that it won't go to waste. And you can let Peter know that we were thinking of him.
Yes, ma'am. Miss Durand is in her study. I believe she was expecting you, so I will let you.
Excellent. All right. Well, Michael, have a good time with Etienne, and I'll be back shortly.
Michael kind of looks and goes, Sure thing, ma'am."
I know you're always on your best behavior. And I head off to the study.
Oh, Eleanor.
Jackie!
Do come in, darling. Do come in.
Oh, how are you tonight?
And she actually gets up and gives you a hug.
Oh, yes, and the kiss on the cheek.
And a kiss on both cheeks, yes. I'm okay. How are you?
I'm here.
That well. And I closed the door behind you. Go ahead and have a seat.
Well, I did have a very interesting interaction at the end of last night.
Oh?
Yes. You know who was in my haven with her friends.
Oh.
And another acquaintance.
Oh.
Yes. And the rite has been done, and there is but to wait.
Are you okay?
Yes. Well, it is very odd, because it is like a memory, but it's not. It's more like something that I imagined. Just happens to stick there like a memory. It does not hurt.
And Jackie will actually touch the side of your face. Are you sure you're okay?
No. I have no idea if I'm actually all right or not. I am certainly not harmed, but I'm afraid.
Okay. That we can deal with. Fear we can confront.
Well, and of course, it's not every day you come into your haven and find very powerful personages.
Indeed, we will definitely need to sort out getting you a different place after this situation is resolved.
Yes.
Yes, absolutely. We will definitely, I will assist with that if you need me to.
Oh, so kind.
Because, yes, that would be very disconcerting when you think it is a safe place to go, and all of a sudden, a whole group of people are there.
Yes.
Yes.
Many people, so many people. I've never had so many house guests before,
I'm sure.
especially unannounced ones. Usually the unannounced ones are just mice.
Just mice? Darling,
Usually.
have you gotten the attention of some Nosferatu?
Not lately.
Okay. Oh, goodness. So what is it? So beyond all this, I know this is as a lot, but
Yes.
I understand that whatever was done was done. Was it like basically to send a signal of sorts?
Yes. Well, my sire is so strong in the web and can sense when I am distressed, and it was sort of like a false flag, if you will, a beacon to say that there is trouble, but it is not real trouble.
Yes, I understand. I understand.
And
It is
I
the
don't
trap.
know. Yes, and I am the very happy bait.
You are the lure. Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Well, what is it I can do for you this evening, Eleanor?
Well, this wasn't the only thing I came to speak to you of. In fact, I have some concerns about Michael. Not that there's anything wrong with Michael, of course. He's very good and always on his best behavior and is doing quite well emulating Etienne and learning from him. But I had a vision some nights ago, and I did not understand it at the time until I thought of what Etienne said about when we were taken to see the prince, and Michael was distraught. And I put two things together, and I am in need of your advice. You have handled ghouls much in your lifetime, and
I have.
I confess I do not know, and I suspect that perhaps there are details of the matter that I do not know.
Peter
Or
was
understand.
also worried
Oh,
that night.
poor Peter.
It is not uncommon for those newly ghouled to develop a bit of panic when the one that they serve is in danger.
Oh,
Or perceived danger. And they have no way to protect the one they serve.
oh.
It is also something that if Etienne is not one to panic as much, he knows I know how to talk my way out of just about any situation because he's been around me so long. But he also would be prone to it if something were to happen, say I was torpid. He would worry as well. Because he
Yes.
is very old, Eleanor. Older than I am.
Oh,
If something were to happen to me that he could not sustain himself, he would die.
that would be terrible.
Yes.
On 2 counts.
Yes. So, with newer ghouls, and I can see in Michael's case he would have been exceptionally panicked because you are his second that he has served in recent nights. And Jonathan disappeared.
Oh, yes. Without a trace. I had not considered that. Oh, that would certainly be upsetting.
He has a bit of fear of abandonment, darling.
Oh, he's like a poor puppy that was left, and oh dear. Well, now I have perhaps even more concern if things with Dolly should go awry.
Darling, if something happens, tell Michael if something happens to come to me.
You will see that he is cared for.
I cannot take him on myself, but what I can do is I can have Abigail look after him and help protect him.
Good.
And I hope nothing horrible happens to you, but if you are indisposed for any reason, if you happen to return or revive or whatever happens, I can always ensure that he is returned to you.
Good. Well, I am easier in my mind knowing that he will be looked after.
Of course.
Thank you.
Of course.
But hopefully there should be no need of this.
I hope not. I just lost a sire. I don't want to lose a friend, too.
No. Oh, certainly I would not want to be responsible for such a thing. No. Not after all of that.
Yes. Please. Yes. So, well. Yes, I can definitely take care of that. If the need arises. But I have told my ghouls of a contingency. Basically, their contingency is if something happens to me, they are to go to Abigail. Abigail can be trusted. And if you need to give Michael a contingency, if something happens to you, he's to come to me.
And that is what I shall tell him to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure he will understand because he knows you are trustworthy.
Exactly.
And my friend.
And I will see that he is cared for and maintained.
Good. I feel much better about that.
Good.
Thank you, Jackie.
You're welcome. You're welcome. There is one thing I would like to ask of you.
Of course, anything.
The gift you offered to me.
Yes.
I would like to receive that now.
I am very happy to grant it to you.
Thank you. And I will take a sip from Eleanor. Just a sip.
Just a taste, actually.
Just a taste.
That is all that's needed if you're going to attempt to
take our specs.
Take some, be able to learn from their blood.
Mm-hmm.
So you take a taste.
Thank you, Eleanor.
Of course.
I have many dealings with those that can trick the mind into thinking they are not there, so it will be very beneficial for me to be able to detect them.
It is very useful for that. To see things that aren't seen.
Yeah.
Perhaps even for you, it will manifest in such a way that you see more.
Perhaps. Perhaps. I do not wish to get your premonitions, though.
No. Oh, hopefully you will be able to avoid that. That seems more curse than
benefit sometimes.
Yes. Yes, it is.
My heart, but even though it's cold and dead, it still breaks for you sometimes because, oh my goodness, that has to be rough.
It is. I admit freely, it is not something I would really wish on anyone. Even to see only nice things, it would be troublesome.
You bear it exceptionally well and with grace.
Thank you, Jackie.
Of course.
You're too kind.
Are there any other matters of concern for you this evening, darling?
Those are the only ones. I am simply waiting now to see what will fall out, if you will.
I understand.
Hopefully sooner rather than later. I despise waiting.
I understand. I wish for your ability to endure what will happen and survive it well.
I hope that no one else comes to any harm of it.
Indeed.
I could bear some harm if I knew that others were not.
You also have a good heart, Eleanor.
Though it be cold and withered and dead.
You know what? It doesn't matter.
It does try to be good.
Exactly. then such a much more pleasant experience than my past couple nights. I had the unpleasantness of a very surly old gangrel.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, that doesn't sound pleasant at all.
Yeah. It's fine.
You're certain?
It is. It's fine.
You'll give him what for next time, I have no doubt.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We do play this little game. One moment I will yank his chain. The next moment he will yank mine. It's like a little game.
The yanking of chains. How is it that gangrel are so good at that?
I don't know. That one is just old and probably needs a good long dirt nap, to be perfectly honest.
Oh.
But
Sometimes a good long nap can help.
Can indeed. Can indeed.
Improve someone's mood.
Well, would you like to stay a little longer and socialize, or would you prefer to leave? Absolutely, you are always welcome.
Some normalcy would be lovely, at least insofar as you have the time.
I have all the time you need, darling.
Lovely.
And we will go ahead and end scene here, storyteller.
Okay, so you spend the night just hanging out together, trying to show Eleanor a little bit more normalcy than what she's been going through lately. And now we're actually going to flash to a scene with Sam, because Sam wanted to meet with the sheriff. I assume you text the number you have that basically leads over to the record label?
Yeah.
Text you want to meet about a contract, because that's the language that's always used is about new artists and contracts and
Yeah, I saw
deals.
this cat at an open mic and think he might be a good fit.
And you get a message back with a street. Meet on the corner. We'll be by.
Tonight, I'm driving the Chevelle around. It's been a while since I've taken her for a run, so she needs to canter a bit. And I will go to the prescribed address.
Okay. Do you stay in the car on the corner, or?
Yeah, until I see
A van pulls up. Actually, you recognize the van. Same van that you all rode in that night going to see the prince. The passenger window rolls down. Damien looks out. Park it. Hop in.
I'll find a place to park it that has a little bit of coverage to it and hop into the van.
When you get in the van, he looks over at the driver. Bobby, hop out. Sam, you're driving. And the driver hops out, stands. I'll watch your car, man.
Appreciate it, Bobby.
You're driving, Sam. Let's have a talk.
Sam gets behind the wheel and merges with and disappears into the Chicago traffic.
And Damien looks over at you. I figured you'd want to talk privately, so we'll leave Bobby back there to watch things.
Make sure he knows I do appreciate him keeping an eye on the car.
Oh, he'll watch it. He was admiring it as we pulled up.
It is a beaut.
Likes his cars. But I know we didn't get together to talk about some old Detroit steel.
I've got questions and a favor that I need to ask.
Now, let's start with the questions and we'll discuss the favor when we get to it.
You asked me to keep an eye on the South Side. And I've been doing my duty to the best of my ability. But I need to know and please, this is not an indictment on you. This is Bruja to Bruja. And more to the point, I want to do good for you. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Tally got into the city somehow, some way. I think, based on what I've seen, I think I see shadows moving in weird ways down there.
How do you know Tally's been in the city?
I think you know the answer to that.
I wouldn't party to those discussions. But let's just say I know a few things on that, so just curious about how you knew.
You know, it's one of those real interesting situations, Sheriff. When you've been at war as long as I have and as long as you have, you know how important it is to compartmentalize stuff. But for street soldiers like you and me, all that shit seems kind of needless, doesn't it?
Politics. They have a place, but you're right. Politics is great in the buildings, not on the streets.
And looking around in our current environs and look at who I'm riding with, you know me, I'm not a political animal.
We all got to be sometimes.
Still here, ain't I? So that means I'm fulfilling that in some way, shape, or form. Otherwise, I'd be dead. I wouldn't have walked out of the friggin' gallery the other night.
Yeah, I'm not going to ask about that one. I don't think I need to know on that. I know enough. I will say, you bring up shadows. How much you know about the La Sombra?
Kill a lot of them. But I've been able to achieve that by virtue of who I was running with previously. I was the bullet, they were the gun, or I was the gun, they were the trigger finger, whatever fucking analogy you want to make. You know, they did the spotting, I did the killing.
Well, I'm going to let you in on something important. Say you're seeing shadows move around there. During the last Lupine War, and then the dust up with the La Sombra. Issues with Giovanni disappearing. Came to realize I wasn't quite as equipped, nor were my boys, to handle the situation. Especially when the La Sombra talked about joining up. So I wanted an edge. Damien leans back a bit in the seat, and you see the shadows darken around his eyes, and the shadows in the whole van getting deeper. You're going to find a number of me and my boys now can play in the shadows. It's our edge. Alexa wasn't the only one. Now you can imagine how we got it.
Well, this leads me to my next question, Sheriff. What you got, I need. I'm on your team.
There's a price to be paid for this particular one. And it ain't the price you may be thinking.
What's that?
It's not right. Doesn't feel right. You feel it seep into you. It's addictive in some ways, but at the same time, it reminds you of death, that you're not supposed to be worried about anymore. We'll put it that way. You wanting it? Do right by me? We may be able to arrange that.
It ain't a matter of want, Sheriff. You have me doing a very specific thing, and in order to accomplish this task, I need, now whether it be that shit or shit the gangrel will do.
Like I said, this one's one that, let's just say, I'm hesitant to give up the edge I got until you've proven yourself. But if you're really looking for something to help you out, I might be able to arrange you to get a little bit of the nos tricks going on. Won't be easy and it won't be cheap.
Or you could point me in the direction of a gangrel that you have under that owes you something, and I can trade you some favors in exchange for that.
Well, there's the problem. Only gangrel I've really... Rosa's out. The wolf pack's out. Most of the others keep their heads down. Lester and I don't talk. We don't see eye to eye. Doesn't leave many choices on that one. Heard a rumor McTavish is down on the south side, but let's just say if you went asking for him, he probably gonna put a 50 caliber shell in your face. That's what he did to Tyrus. You know, there's not many of them around anymore. At least not in our city. And I know you got one hanging out with your group. She's the only new one that's come to the city in a few years now, actually. If you really want it, you could always ask Alexa. On the right day, she might give it to you. On the wrong day, you may lose a limb. She's not stable.
Sorry, let me put on my shocked face.
Oh, I know. She has her uses. I'm not quite sure what they are, but I've been told she does.
Mm-hmm.
Prince likes her, that's all I get. That's the only input I have on it. Because she sure as hell don't work for me. I don't care if they call her the Hound or not. You didn't notice her in the car that night, did you?
Oh no, her crazy kind of friggin' seeps out everywhere. She's hard to miss.
I mean, you could try to get it the same way we did. Caught one of them Sabat boys running around.
Yeah, I took a sip off one of them crazy fuckers once and went on a real wild ride after that. I'm not real anxious to go on that particular roller coaster again.
I mean, there's rumors they're still outside the city, some that haven't come in. And you know the rules. They don't pay the sacrifice. They don't get the protections.
Nah, I'll figure something out. Don't worry about it.
Like I said, I'm hesitant to give you my edge unless you either prove it to me or you prove you're good enough to get it your own way.
Hey, you know, I know nobody knows me from Adam in this town, but I did some real good work over on the East Coast during the last war.
I only know you from what Cretus said. And he said you'd be useful. Well, that carries a lot of weight. That's why I've got you working on that.
But I digress. Leads to the next question I have. There's a lot of movement going on down in the South Side. I don't know who else you got reporting to you, so I don't want to belabor the point, but it's a damn powder keg.
Went to Winnetka the other night. Figured since somebody's blinded me, wondered if anybody had the balls to blind him. We did a bit of a trade. He tells me that some gangsters dusting it up with One-Eyed K. I don't know how much your friends have told you about who One-Eyed K is, but when I spoke to Mr. Rond, she implied, let's just say that he was the once and future prince, or at least thinks he is.
I don't know about all that, but word in the grapevine is that some cat named Loden.
That's who I'm talking about. He was Prince Loden. Till Jackson took his place. Well, Peterson took his place, but Jackson took over after that. Peterson was a fuck-up.
Jackie said she told you all about that. That's why I'm able to.
She gave me enough for me to figure it out for sure.
So what are we doing about that?
That's why you're watching. I want to know who he's fighting. That's the first step. Because it's a lot of gangsters. And I want to know who's running the gangs, because you know how it works in cities like ours. Gangs like that don't start fights like that unless one of us is pulling a chain. I want to know who's on the chain first. Once I figure that out, I can decide which end of the chain to take out.
Well, I mean, I have an idea.
You do?
Oh, to clarify, I have an idea on how to find out.
Okay. Because the problem I run into is when my boys go down there or I go down there, they apparently know who I am and they all scurry for cover. And the moment we leave, they all come back out. When I send one of my other agents down there, they seem to know who they are because they all scurry for cover. Or I lose some agents. Quite a number of them go down there and don't come back.
I can't confirm because I haven't seen. But the whispers I've heard have been Pone.
Now, see, that motherfucker's dead.
From what I hear, so was Loden supposed to be. But yet here we are.
Yeah, but Alexa killed him. Now, for Loden, he went down in a fire after Lupine attacked. Matter of fact, funny, Jackson was nicknamed a paladin for a while after that little incident because he showed up took Loden's sword and stood over his sire, battling Lupine, saved half the Primogen that were in the room. But Alexa killed Capone.
Did you see it?
Nope. I see where you're going with it.
Because wasn't Gino Manatelli in that sphere?
Yeah, he's Frank Gallen's kid. Gallen. It's Capone's.
Mm-hmm. Theory fits the evidence. And like I said, this is what I'm hearing as I cruise around down there.
So is that Roche guy? That Roche guy was one of Callan's kids. We've been looking for him. He disappeared down there too.
Mm-hmm.
Going down a rabbit hole I can't find.
Who's got that kind of juice?
If what you're saying's true, I need to tell Ballard. Those two, they got a beef. A long beef.
Is there any other kind in the world we live in?
No, but you'll find Ballard takes his beefs rather seriously.
Yeah, I've heard that about him. He's a connoisseur, if you will.
He's a connoisseur of many things. That beef is definitely... Capone had a bad habit of interfering with Ballard's less than legal activities, undercutting him and trying to take him out from under him.
Mm-hmm.
Any way you can find me proof that it's Capone? Because right now you're just hearing things.
Oh, like I said, I got an idea. I just wanted to give you a heads up as to what I'm hearing because, I'm not directly engaging people. I'm just kind of lingering with an earshot, observing. To that end, yeah.
You've been pretty straight up with me, so I'm going to be straight up with you. Bruja to Bruja.
Yeah.
Reason I put you on this, because something always sounded fishy about Alexa taking out Capone.
You don't fucking say.
Yeah. Like I said, somebody's blinded me, somebody who's close enough to me to find that out. Find out who to blind. Now, if I had evidence or a way to prove it, I could solve the problem. But I can't get evidence when they know it's me looking. And they already know my boys. Now you see why you're involved in this.
No, I got that from jump. But,
she wasn't one of fucking Jackson's favorites. I wouldn't worry about evidence. We would just, as you said, politics and the street are not always the same thing.
Politics in the street comes at the end of a barrel of a gun.
That's right. But unfortunately, she's one of Jackson's favorites, and if she goes missing, I doubt.
If she goes missing, blame it on her fucking boyfriend.
Oh, no. That wouldn't be the end of that one. He'd probably be helping the prince find who did it. So
as you say, politics is politics, and you give so and so some defensive wounds, and suddenly their mirror ain't so lustrous.
Let me tell you something about her little boyfriend. That motherfucker would spill everything he knows for just a hint of power in this city. Now, it's no secret that there's a few Primogen that might not be up to the task anymore. And we've got an opening for one, as a matter of fact, right this second. Let's just say he would spill everything he knows about everyone for that seat. So don't think the prince wouldn't use that to make sure that Luke had nothing to do with it.
You know, I'm going to put it like this. If you're worried about what's contained in the message, well, make sure you set up a self-destruct in that message. Go friggin' Phelps on that shit. This message will self-destruct in 5 seconds. 4, 3.
Yeah, I know that reference.
1.
Find me something I can use.
I got plans. You know, I have an idea.
Hell, if you can find the right ones. She told the whole Primogen Council and Jackson and an Archon that she killed fucking Capone. You find him still alive, very least we'll put enough heat on her she'll have to, let's say, relocate. But if you could prove she had something to do with him surviving, it wasn't just gross incompetence. Well.
Yeah. I don't know if Alexa had necessarily had bad intentions. I mean, hell, she may think she fucking murked the motherfucker. But
if it's Capone, there's a power play in here somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
That motherfucker always was a schemer, and he was never happy with what station he'd been given. Let me put it that way.
Yeah. Well, if I die, if I die, then I'm right.
You're going to be harder to take out than that, I hope.
Everyone can get got. You know this.
Oh, I know.
But stay by your phone.
I will. Hey, loop on back. It's getting late. I got other business I got to attend.
Yeah.
But we're on the right page, I think.
Do you have any questions for me?
Just keep looking. Find out what you can. I'm not going to ask you about what the prince and you all had a beef with. Sometimes it's best not to know, and pissed off as he was acting, I'm pretty sure I don't want to be part of that.
You know, our clan is up the proverbial creek, if you will, thanks to the shot heard around the world.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't. The only way we get through it is solidarity. There's a reason I am as forthwith as I am with you.
That's what Critus and I feel. It's not a night to be going solo out there. Tower's the only place for safety right now.
Yeah. As I like to put it, the tower is a wonderful source of shade because side of that, the sun's real unhealthy for us.
Yeah. And, well, it's better to hide in a whole group of things than be the one out there all alone out in the middle of nowhere. It's a lot easier to find you when you're by yourself. That's the mistake people make all the time. They think they can just hide out somewhere, be themselves. That makes it easier to find you, not harder.
Yeah,
You need to get lost in the
Yeah, I see what you're
crowd,
saying.
the
I see what
masses.
you're saying. I see what you're saying. Let me put a bug in somebody's ear and then I'll get back to you.
Now do that. And as you pull up, Bobby's still there. He's not sitting against your car. He's actually sitting against the wall next to your car, just watching it.
I step out and say, "Hey, Bobby, let me see your phone real quick." And I plugged my number into it and I said, here in a couple of nights, me and you going to go joyriding.
If I get a night off. He looks over at Damien. Damien just shakes his head. If I get a night off.
We'll figure something out.
And you, Damien, from the van. Come on, Bobby, we got to go. We got a meeting with Balthazar tonight. That dick. Yep. Nice car, Sam. Bobby climbs in the van and drives off. Now we got to flash to another scene. It's a busy bunch of scenes. What's up, Sam? What you got?
I wanted to send a message to Roscoe real quick.
Go ahead.
And it's like, hey, Roscoe, I got a job for you.
Lay it on me.
I'll meet you at your shop in 20.
Got it.
Okay. Now, we'll come back to Sam and Roscoe at a different point in this episode because we've got a number of scenes to handle right here. Let me make a note here so I make sure that we don't forget. But we got to go and visit back with Jackie. Because Jackie had an odd visitor at her club, at her cabaret. And she knew exactly who it was by the fact of the hat he was wearing.
Mm-hmm.
As he sat watching in one corner that night. He actually listened to her, had a few other people come over and read him stories. But you know the hat, you know the outfit, though the face is different. You know the dapper nos when you see him in your cabaret.
Mm-hmm. She walks over and takes a seat. Good evening.
Hey, Jackie.
How are you, my dapper friend?
Well, you know, could be better, could be worse. Just wanted to come check this out.
Hmm. And what do you think?
It's not bad. I hadn't been in here yet. And I wanted to see what was going on. You know, I've been keeping ear to the ground, hearing some things. So I figured it'd been a while since I met with you, and I figured I'd just pop in and say, hey.
Oh, very good. You know, you must be a little bit psychic. Because I was just thinking about you recently.
Yeah. I may be psychic, or I just keep my ear to the ground and know when people are up to things that might interest me.
Oh, so am I up to something that might interest you?
Well, not you, but your friends definitely are.
Oh.
And, you know.
Well, you are certainly up to things that interest me.
Well, that's what they say.
Mm-hmm.
When can you get out of here? I don't like talking in this place.
It's my place. I can leave anytime I want.
Well.
Are you inviting me out, darling?
Go for a walk.
Sure. Let's go for a walk.
And as you get up and walk, Etienne looks at you. Ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And you step outside and Cedric's keeps the same look. And as you start to walk away, I just hate talking in that other voice. It
I understand.
bothers the throat after a while.
It's fine.
It's just when you look like this and you talk like that, or if you talk like this when you look like that kind of thing, it
I understand.
wits awareness, Jackie,
Mm-hmm.
please.
Does my instincts kick in with this?
Not with this one, no.
Okay.
Wow, 7, but it's a messy crit
On a wits awareness.
on a wits awareness. Now, it's a passive roll, so I generally don't make messy crits happen on a passive because the beast passively interacting, meh. You notice that as you're talking and walking with him, a number of large rats are hopping building to building along the rooftop
Mm-hmm.
with keeping pace on both sides of the street.
And I will legit look up. I see you brought friends.
Oh, they always go with me.
Good.
Part of their education.
Excellent. I am fascinated with this whole program you have with them.
I mean, it's nothing special, just selective breeding. You know, it's been done for years. Except I just accelerate it. Little blood, little extra.
Oh. That is ingenuity. Truly.
Work, but it's rewarding.
Excellent. I know you do some other work as well.
What makes you say that?
Destiny left a gift when she left.
I didn't.
And I am well versed in the art of giving thoughtful gifts and also in receiving thoughtful gifts.
Now, Martin said that gift he was giving it to her to remember him, and she goes and leaves it.
She left it for us to remember her.
So how did you figure out it came from me? That's the question.
Please, I have quite a number of friends, a variety of capabilities.
So is this the shakedown? You're going to give me a price to keep that little bit of info to yourself? Or
I will not reveal it. You see, I actually wish for us to have friendly relations, Cedric.
That's good.
I think it is fascinating that you have put so much of yourself into a gift intended to be given to someone by someone else.
You know, just because we are what we are don't mean we don't have hobbies.
Indeed.
In my case, I don't know, always had a green thumb. It was just something new to do, you know? And you'd be amazed what you can actually pull off when you have enough time.
Indeed. I would personally just love to see it.
You would, huh?
I would.
Follow me then.
All right.
And he leads you down a few alleys.
She does take out her phone at this point and sends a text to Roscoe. I have a meeting. If I don't talk to you before dawn, come looking for me.
He leads you down a few dark alleys.
Will do.
To a manhole cover. He opens it up. We're going down here after you. I'll close the lid behind you. It's a little heavy.
No problem. And she doesn't even flinch and she goes right down.
When you go down in it, it's not part of the sewer you expected to see. I mean, there's a little bit of water, but it's not high flowing. There's clean, dry walkways on both sides. And he comes down, and you notice as he's going down it, he's only climbing with one arm.
I'll make a mental note of that.
His other arm he doesn't use to try to climb with. When he comes down, follow me, I'm going to show you. Well, let's just say if you try to come this way later, probably you won't be able to find it.
I am not known for my sense of direction, darling. It'll be fine.
And he starts to take you at first through some tunnels and openings, and you come to a brick wall.
Mm-hmm. Can I sense the unseen on this wall?
Now that you have learned a new power, go ahead. You're going to try to use Sense the Unseen deliberately, so it is resolve all specs.
Okay.
We will see what you get.
Oh.
No rouse check needed, of course.
Yeah, hang on just a second. I also need to add 1 for blood potency.
That's correct.
Hmm.
3. Nope, doesn't glow at all.
Okay.
And he goes over, and there's a crack in the mortar. And he pulls out a flat piece of metal of some kind. And you actually see him stick it into the crack and move it from top to bottom, and you hear a click. And the door, and it just swings open, the bricks do. Where the cracks were, I mean, it was a complete set, but it was uneven looking. And it leads into an actual dry tunnelway in front of him.
Reminds me of the catacombs back home.
Yeah, it's close. You know, there's a history to these. These were, when the city burnt before, they just built over the rubble. They had a sewer problem. And when the gangsters came in, they expanded them, made walkways every which way, shortcuts, places to go, ways to get hooch through the city. They did it all under here.
Of course, especially during the Prohibition.
Yeah. And then we expanded.
Of course you did.
Made it better.
Of course.
And he leads you in a very confusing way. It's hard to tell because a lot of it looks the same, but you think he even doubled back at least once or twice.
Oh, I'm sure he's intentionally trying to confuse her.
And he ends up taking you to, if it wasn't, you didn't notice it at first, but a little dark corner that when you got close to it, you realized there's a hole about 3 foot wide up on the corner. And he looks down in the hole and jumps down through it.
I will follow.
And when you jump through it, you land on a whole pile of mattresses. And you're actually in it's some sort of basement building, but it's doesn't seem to have attached to anything. It's rather large, and you can hear the squeaking of rats in the distance. And when he steps in, he picks up a remote that's sitting by the pile of mattresses, and he hits a button on it, and music starts playing, classical music.
I love this piece.
Well, welcome to my lair.
Well, thank you for the warm welcome.
Yep. It's not much. I mean, it's actually rather a lot when you look at it. It's nicely decorated. There's furniture from, various eras. He's got about 300 years worth of furniture. Each era seems to be represented in a different part of the room where he separated it by era to do a theme in each section. It's a place, it's dry. Nobody bothers me here.
I promise to not bother you uninvited.
Well, that's good, because if you come in here uninvited, well, probably won't make it. And if you did, you probably wouldn't make it out.
I love the furnishings in here.
Stuff I've gathered.
I have a collection myself.
Some reminds me of home, my youth, some don't. It's just stuff that, I like to look at. But you wanted to see my area.
Yeah. And I'd love to see your magnificent rat.
Well, he's up there still, but I can show you where they come from.
Excellent.
And it takes you to a large iron door. And when he opens it, light just spills out of it. It's bright. Grow lights. And you step in, and there is rows and rows of roses, tulips and daisies and irises and orchids, poinsettias even. There's my flower garden.
Oh, Cedric. Beautiful.
Yeah, it's a lot of work, but it's worth it.
You. Oh my goodness.
Now,
you are amazing. You realize this, yes? That you have done. She walks right up to the flower and looks at them.
Let me roll something here. I got a roll for you on this one. A lot of fun.
Yeah.
Give me 1 second. I'm rolling some dice.
You're rolling my passive since the unseen.
I rolled the wrong person, but I always love when I roll the wrong person. Let's try that again, because I don't need to roll that characters, because that's a whole nother ball game. There we go. Wow. Not bad on your passive one.
Shouldn't I have had a bonus die for my blood potency?
There you go. Throw one on there.
Okay.
The whole area actually is glowing. A light green glow over all the plants, the ground. The only thing not glowing with some sort of something on it is the grow lights.
And she actually gets down, kneeling and looking at these flowers. They are magnificent, Cedric. And you grew them all down here.
Yeah. Takes a lot of plant food, light. If I had an electricity bill, it'd be pretty high, though. Thankfully, it's deep enough. You know, the police now look for the heat from these grow lights to try to find the illegal drug growing
the
and stuff.
pod growers.
But they don't find it this deep.
Yes, yes.
They can't see through that much dirt and ground.
Yes. Oh.
And not many know about this little one here. I mean, Martin does.
She stands back up. I love it, truly. I love how you have a desire for making beautiful things from your own intent and your own hands, and you accomplish it.
Yeah, well, you know.
I admire that about you.
I'll be frank. Urzuli taught me most of how to do this.
I haven't had the pleasure yet.
Yeah, she I don't know where she learned it, but she knows a lot about kind of making things grow like this, so told me some tricks, let's just say Adzi owed me enough favors that he paid out through her.
Understand. Excellent.
But the rats...
Do show me.
He points over, there's a curtain.
Mm-hmm.
And he pulls the curtain back, and there's almost a whole warren built into the wall. You can see a bunch of holes, and there's actually a pool of blood in front of it.
That they drink from.
They breed through here, and meat goes in the water bowl, I call it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not water, though.
No.
I pretty much let them do their thing in there because what happens is once you've got them going a bit with the way I've got them a few generations in, they're more like pack animals than normal. So they fight each other for dominance.
Oh.
Which means each generation, the strong ones survive it and lead, and they breed, and the rest of them, well, they end up in the water bowl.
Does that cause any madness with them? I've heard it's been a number of years now, but like there was issues with like cows and feeding improper things in their feed, and it led to some issues with disease.
If that was just their blood, sure.
Ah, I get you.
But there's a bit of supernatural blood in there, too.
Mm-hmm.
Makes it a bit different.
Yes, you are breeding Gould rats.
You do have to worry about the generational, if we were humans, it's called generational incest, genetic abnormalities. But there's ways to deal with that. Every couple generations, you just have to put some new genetic material in there.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard on them, on the ones you put in there for the, put it frankly, the breeding stock. But
yes, I'm sure the acclimation to that environment can be quite difficult.
Oh, yeah. This is what you're seeing of my buddies upstairs, the big boys. They're about 10 years worth of work to reach that point. It's a long project, but got time. I can do that all I need.
Yeah.
Give it the time. We'll get it done.
There is not a single puzzle that you will not pick apart and put back together in your own design, is there?
I mean, there's a few I can't, but I do the ones I can. Some of them are a hobby, like this. I mean, I've been curious whether I could apply it to kind, but let's just say that's looked frownedly upon whenever you bring up that kind of a kind breeding program.
Yes, because that has been done in the past by others, from what I know.
Yeah, and the ones who did it, let's just say, weren't doing it for the reasons I would, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
So I'll stick with rats. It's okay by me.
thank you so much for sharing this with me. I was very curious because I have some experience with the human offspring of these things and wondered how it applied to animals.
Well,
My
you
own
know,
curiosity, as it were.
I just figured, I could show you this and I'm not going to bother with threats, but it gives you an idea that if this
Yes.
came common knowledge,
Of course.
but at the same time, it also, I don't know, I like sharing it once in a while. It's something that not many people get to see, not many people have an interest in. So, there's a pride to it.
Well, allow me to admire your work, Cedric, because you have done outstanding work.
I'll tell Nim you like him. That's what I've named the big one.
The big one is Nim.
Yeah.
Excellent.
I'm guilty of reading some books.
Excellent, excellent. I will make sure if ever we cross paths, I will address Nim by his name.
Yeah.
Speaking of Nim, I think I may have a new mystery for you.
Now you got my interest. What you got?
Well, first, I need an answer from you, and then I can give you what I got.
Okay.
The last time we'd spoken, you had mentioned something to me, and I chose to keep it in my pocket and deal with it later. You mentioned that there were other places, like my coterie's club in the city.
Yeah.
What places were they?
I haven't found them all yet. 3 in the Undercity.
Okay.
There's a church outside of town.
Okay. Do you know the name of the church?
No, off the top of my head, I don't remember now.
Okay.
I didn't care. It was out of town. It was a passing thing.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the other ones are south side, east side. I think all total there's 11, 12 different buildings I've found so far.
Wow.
Most of them are empty.
South side, east side, the church outside of town, and what was the first one?
Undercity.
Undercity. There's 3 places in the Undercity.
Yeah, those are the biggest ones that concerned me.
Yes, of course.
They were as abandoned as the other building.
Interesting.
The only one that I saw being used was the church. And your club, of course, but
Yes.
you guys set up in the club. It wasn't used
Right.
before.
It was empty. Now, I will tell you, there was something unusual that we found in the club.
Mm.
It was a skeleton that glowed.
What happened with it?
Have no idea. The Sabat asshole we killed probably disposed of it or hid it somewhere.
Okay, see? I mean, if I could see it, I might be able to.
Yeah.
But you'll
So
find
that-
there's a lot of odd relics.
Yes, so just being mindful that, in places like that, there may be something unusual found inside.
I'll actually look because if it was in that one, you said it's not there anymore. Maybe
It
it
might
got
be in
moved to one
another
of the
one.
others. I'll have to go double check, see if it got moved.
Absolutely. And I appreciate if you let me know, of course. I
mean,
won't
you told me
necessarily
about
be
it,
involved, so yeah.
You told me about it, and I owe you some info anyway, I think. Pretty sure that's how it is.
It's fine. If you decide not to tell me, it's fine too. It's up to you. It's your choice. The mystery that I want to present to you is something I would like information on based upon your findings.
Okay.
There is a building that is warded, and I know you have a ring.
Mm-hmm. What building?
Noah's Charters.
See, I know the name of that place. That's the guy that flies in Kindred.
Mm-hmm.
In and out.
Mm-hmm.
What's the beef you got on him?
Oh, nothing other than we tracked a operative of the Second Inquisition going in and out of there.
Mm-hmm. So I can already figure you want me to send my pets in
Mm-hmm.
through the ward to find out what they can find out.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds interesting.
Mm-hmm. Because I've learned some information on this flyboy.
Oh, I know some information too.
Mm-hmm.
That bastard's a pet of fucking Porsches. Sure Khaled wouldn't mind some leverage
Mm-hmm.
in that area.
Exactly.
Okay, Jackie, I think we got a deal on that one. I'll send my boys in. I'll share with you
All right.
for sharing what you have.
As far as what we could ascertain, the ward is certainly against kindred. But it could be similar to the other buildings like our club where it is a layered situation. So may be beneficial to tie your ring onto one of your friends.
He'll just hand up. You see a ring on his finger.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it won't matter with that.
Okay.
They can ward whatever they want with this thing.
Your own creation?
No.
Okay. You don't have to tell me where you got it. I won't pry.
Won't matter if I tell you or not. You won't be able to go get it.
Of course not.
Milwaukee Null Zone ain't a place you're going to want to wander.
Yeah, not particularly.
Yeah. Unless you want some lupine, some mages, or some hunters,
No.
or Tremere, or
We
just
have
about everybody.
We have enough of all of those right here at home.
Ain't that the truth?
Very well. So, you know where to find me when you have information.
Oh, I don't. That's not a problem.
You know, I put my cabaret mighty convenient to your area.
But you're talking like you're getting out of here. Who says you're going to make it out? And he smiles as he says it.
Are you planning to keep me?
I mean, I got a lot of flowers here. You could just be one of them.
No.
Plant you in some dirt. And,
I used to be called a rose, but I am no flower.
yeah, it's a thought. Then I suspect, I'd have...
Will you see me out?
Yeah, well, I have to. You ain't getting out otherwise. That's the thing is... And he takes you back into the main room, over to another door. He said, we got to go out this way. You don't come back down the hole. That's hard to... I mean, I could jump out it. I don't know if you can jump up through it, but we'll go take the other way.
Okay, that would be appreciated.
And he escorts you out and leads you away.
Excellent.
And we're still going to go on one more scene, at least before break. I know we're pushing already over an hour, but we're going to keep going. Because
On her way out, she does text Roscoe, safe and sound.
You don't get a signal.
Until we get out.
Until you get into the main part of the sewers again.
Yeah. Once I get out of the sewers, I'm going to text Roscoe.
Once you get to the main sewer section, signal is required because they've got repeaters down in the sewer for people who work down there to be able to radio or communicate back with the office. But anything below that level, nothing. We're actually popping over to Lamar. We got to go visit the Church of Christ down on the south side. Correct?
Yes, that's correct. Gonna drive down there and get a little faith.
Yeah. Now, as you come up on this church, I'm going to have you roll here in a second because, we got to check in on this one. I need you to roll wits awareness you can go with. Yeah, go wits awareness on that one. Yeah, 3 successes. With 3 successes, church has definitely recently been renovated. And unlike a lot of the churches, it's got a visible basement. It's not old enough to have a crypt set on it. So it looks like it actually has an actual basement based on the windows you're seeing. And when you get here this night, the church is open, but there's not really many people in it. As you go inside, you see there's a janitor and there's a couple deacons moving around.
I'm going to park across the street from the church and then going to get out and very cautiously just make my way forward towards the front door and just to see how I feel the closer I draw to the place.
Don't feel anything. Just a church.
lets out a breath he didn't know he was holding. He's going to approach the front door, and
It's open.
stops. He'll go ahead and put on his gloves. Then he'll walk inside and just kind of look at the general area.
And it's well decorated. Got new stained glass. It looks like it was remodeled well. A couple of the deacons wander around. They look at you and notice you, but they don't seem to pay you much mind. And then a man walks over, but he's got his collar and, hello, my son. Haven't seen you in our congregation before. Reverend Taylor. You can call me Jeff.
Reverend Jeff. My name's Lamar, and just getting to feel the place. I'm back home after a long time away, and I'm in search of just a path.
Well,
Search of the Lord's way, so to speak.
you're never gone from the Lord's path, as long as you're willing to walk it, son.
I've lost someone very dear to me recently, and really it's just I've been trying to figure out if I understand, he has a plan for all of us. I get that. But it's very hard to keep that in mind when I can only see the path I'm walking on and I can't see where it's leading, or I see where I've been, but I don't know where I'm going. And I feel like there's something out there watching me, waiting to take my soul. And I don't want that. And I just want a place where I can hopefully feel safe.
Oh, my son, the tribulations in life that test you. God's always wanting to test your faith. He wants to make sure that your faith is real. And he sends these pains to us. But he still loves you. And you always have a place in the church. And though it may feel like someone's pursuing your soul, as long as you keep your faith in the Lord, the devil will have no hold over you. You must reject his works. You must reject that voice. Come. We'll walk as we talk.
Okay, yeah. And Lamar walks with him. He's trying to get a general idea. Does Jeff seem sincere in what he's saying?
He very much does, actually. You can tell that he's as smooth as any reverend or any priest you've ever been around. It's very practiced eased. Which, yes, I will point out, you being an obvious predator and him being at ease around you is not normal.
Yeah, that was the fact that the others kind of just looked at me and didn't really pay me any mind, but this guy walked right up to me. Lamar is very curious about that, so I'm going to continue walking with Jeff and just getting a look at kind of the state of the church in question. This place looks a lot better cared for than a lot of the churches I've seen on the south side. Seems like, is this a pretty tight-knit congregation?
It is, my son. We had a recent influx. Donations that allowed us to improve it. Actually, we gutted the whole place and rebuilt it almost. We have a very giving community here.
Well, I think perhaps some of the people that I think that the people I work with would want to make a contribution as well, just because I also want this place to be welcoming, and I want it to be a safe place for other people too.
No, all churches should always be a safe place.
I agree.
The house of God is sacrosanct. And of course, if you would like to make a donation, obviously you can. Of course, they are tax deductible.
I understand. That's less the important part for me than just knowing that the money's going to go to a good place. That's going to help. It's going to help people who need it. And I think that's being missed here on the South Side with everything that's been going on lately. I mean, in the news for all the bad stuff, but they really talk about the good stuff that happens here.
Yeah, there is a lot of the devil's work here in the South Side. Crime. Vice. Many of the sins are represented. We're hoping at some point we can turn back the devil's hand and bring everyone under the Lord's light.
And I mean, if the devil's hand is upon us, how do we brush it back? How do we put it behind us and push his influence away from the people we care about?
Well, we lead by example, live by the strictures. And of course, we try to do good works in the community. We try to, show. We have food drives. We soup kitchen to give to the poor. Try to go out and we have a youth league we've sponsored to try to, give people creative outlets other than the devil's works. The Bible does not say it is the devil's work to compete in sports, and that is a good way to give people a way to avoid the temptations.
The world's temptations there's a lot of them, and
amen, brother.
Yeah, there's a lot of them, and I know a lot of people fall by, they get caught up in them. The faith falls by the wayside, and I want to keep that from, happening. But in the meantime, when's the next mass?
Well,
might be.
If you come by tomorrow night, we're doing our Friday midnight mass. You're always welcome. We welcome all. And it'd be good to have a new face here. Congregation loves to see new people.
You know what? I'll see if I can. I definitely want to try to fit that into my schedule. A friend of mine came to this church. Name was Angela Stone, and she was a very big influence in my life. And
Wit's insight, please. You see a tightening of his lip at that name, and that's it. Sister Stone, I remember her.
Oh, you knew her. Yeah, she passed away recently. I was in town after I heard about it, and I'm just still really struggling with it. She was one of the best people I knew, and like I said, the whole plan, I just have trouble. I struggle with the plan and everything that comes with it when people like her get taken, but then I watch people, I watch some of these other people still walking the earth, and
It can be hard. I understand, my son, it can be hard. But she's with the Lord now. And it was her time. The Lord had a purpose and a reason he waited to take her when he did. And though we don't understand it, and it hurts us, it's not for us to question. It's us to accept his love. And even the sinners have a place in his plan.
I used to have problems with authority, so I always I struggle with the whole just accepting, letting it pass me over,
Many do. And that's what we're here for, to help you. To let go of the hate and the anger. Open yourself to the love of the Lord.
Do you know how her family's holding up? I only knew them kind of, on the margins and everything, but I know that she had children that were trying, and I know that right now they're probably struggling too.
I haven't spoken with her family. Now, I'm using your previous insight roll. He lied to you. Right there, you caught him. You know he lied. Family hasn't been in here since she passed. But if I speak with them, I will inquire to make sure.
Please do. I mean, and can we just keep that between us? Because, like I said, I only knew him on the margins, and Miss Angie, she was good to me. She was good to me at a tough time in my life, and I don't want to upset anybody. I just want to.
Of course, my son. I'm
sorry. I'm struggling with this whole thing.
I understand, my son, but all things you bring to me in confidence, of course, will stay between us. And that was a lie as well.
Thank you, Jeff. I really appreciate it. It's going to take me some time to really work through this, but just this talk right here has made me feel a bit more. I feel a bit lighter, I guess I could say.
I'm glad we could help. The Lord always looks to help, because he does love us, even in these dark times. Now, feel free. Of course, I have other congregation members I have to speak with. I have to speak with some of my deacons about tomorrow's midnight mass. But feel free to wander the church and to just get peace with the Lord.
I'm going to do that. I want to get right with the Lord. So thank you very much. And if I have any other questions, I will seek you out. Maybe I'll come back tomorrow night and check in.
Please do, my son. And you see him walk over, and he goes over to one of the obviously the deacons, and your eyes kind of glazed over him earlier because he just looked nondescript. But as Jeff is talking to him, you realize the guy he's talking to is too nondescript, too average. After he speaks to him a few minutes, you see that deacon step out the back and leave the main room of the church.
I'll kind of wander a little bit, looking at some of the stained glass and everything. And I remember how much Angela used to love stained glass windows and just some of the little pieces that she would buy from time to time. And then I'll go ahead and make my way out and make my way back to the car, and then try to see if anybody's either following me or watch
Wits
me a little
awareness.
bit.
We will see what you pick up.
I'm going to willpower that.
Okay, you got 2 right now. You can willpower up to 2 dice of it. Got 3 successes.
That's 5.
5. You got a crit. As you're going and you're getting in the car, you do catch 5. I got to reward 5 with a crit. Got to. You do catch sight of somebody crouched on the building next to the church. Can't make out what he looks like, but he's definitely crouched up there watching you. Kind of what you can see of him, tall, unnaturally long limbs, big old spindly neck, egg-shaped head. Definitely somebody you would recognize if you saw them shadowed or not somewhere else. It's a distinctive individual.
And I look up at the individual in question.
And as soon as you do that, it ducks back behind the top of the roof ledge and disappears.
All right, you sons of bitches. All right, game on. And Lamar will get in the car, and he's gonna head out.
Okay. And I wanted to do some other scenes in this half, but unfortunately, looking at how long we've gone, I think we have to take a break now. So we're going to go to break. I really wanted to get Jenny's scene in and a Roscoe scene in, but it is what it is. We don't know how long scenes will run for the players. So we will see everybody in 10 minutes. Please enjoy this amazing break.
And thank you for any donations that have come in so far. We really appreciate you giving to this wonderful charity. Truly, from us, thank you so much. And enjoy the break. We have a wonderful, basically, video break with wonderful music. Enjoy. Get up. Take yourself a bio break if you need to.
See that ticker right over there? That's the ticker. That's you tracking the donations right there.
Thank you so much.
If you want to know how to donate, down in our panels at the bottom, you can click it. Mm-hmm. There's a link in chat. You can click that. Or we've got the extension going, so you can go to look on the Twitch screen and click our extension and donate that way as well. So we've got lots of ways to make it easy to donate. Absolutely. And if you're watching this on YouTube, down in the description of the video on YouTube is also the link to donate. So even our YouTube viewers can donate. So thank you, and we will see everyone in 10 minutes. Please enjoy.
Allow me to introduce myself, though I fear you've heard my name, that you've heard the story of Countess Bathory. History is told by the victors, heroic warriors, and mad kings. Will you hear my story from the lips of Bathory? They call me was keen to destroy me and take my property. My plea was never offered. All my confessors were all tortured. Oh, how they destroyed me for my property. They put me up, shut me up, shut me up, put me up, brick me up, shut me up, and told a story of a bitch called Bathory. Let's sucking demon, queen of hell, sadistic killer, a monster tale, bathing in the blood of virgins, beautiful, drinking the blood of virgins, youthful, the blood countess. Who is she really? Who is she really? Blood countess. Who is she really? Elizabeth Bathory. Splinters of my soul cut through your skin and burrow within, and burrow within. Splinters of my soul cut through your skin and burrow within, and burrow within. Splinters of my soul cut through your skin and burrow within, and burrow within. I've always been the hunter, nothing on my tail. But there was something in you I knew could make that change. To capture a predator, you can't remain the prey. You have to become an equal in every way. So look in the mirror and tell me, who do you see? Is it still you, or is it me? Become the beast, we don't have to hide. Do I terrify you? predators, the hunters, the hunters, the hunters. Become the beast, we don't have to hide. Do I terrify you? Do you feel alive? Do you feel the hunger? Does it howl inside? Does it terrify you? Or do you feel alive? Splinters of my soul cut through your skin and burrow within, and burrow within. Splinters of my soul cut through your skin and burrow within, and burrow within. Splinters of my soul cut through your skin and burrow within, and burrow within. Splinters of my soul cut through your skin to burrow within. Do you burrow within? Do you feel the hunger? Does it howl inside? Does it terrify you? Or do you feel alive?
Welcome back. Before the break, well, we had a number of interesting scenes where Jackie met with Cedric, Sam met with the sheriff, Lamar. Wow, Lamar, you had some deep shit happening there in the South Side in a church. Jackie and Eleanor even managed to get a talk in about a ghoul. Now, before I go into this second half, remember, tonight we are raising money for the National Breast Cancer Foundation. Right over here, you can see the ticker. If I can get my fingers to point the right way. Here we go. Over there. Donate, please. Donate. My fingers are not working. Donate. It goes to a good cause. We're raising money all month. So, it's not required, but we appreciate seeing the love. And though we're re-recording this and we can't thank you in real time, anyone who does donate, so you know, thank you. I'm going to say that now, and we'll thank you again at the end. But we're going to pick up with Jenny. Jenny, you got a text. Rosa Hernandez has asked you to meet her, and she's given you an address that you recognize right off as it's in the Villa District, which is in the northern section of town. As far as you're aware, it's actually not far from Jackie's Cabaret.
I'll just respond with the I will be there as I guess I'll respond with, what time frame are you looking for my arrival? Or
you get a reply back as soon as you get a chance.
Then I'm just gonna send back, I will be heading there now then.
And as you ride over there, of course, you get into the Villa District. It's nice houses up in there. In this particular house that you're going up to, as you pull up to it, it's a prairie architectural style bungalow. It's got a waist-high wooden fence around it. It's got a large garden. You can actually see the various plants. And as your vehicle pulls up out front, you also notice there's at least a dozen dogs around the building. I will have you roll. Let's go with wits. Either wits, animal kin. You can go wits awareness. Either one I think will work for that. It's up to you.
Do I get my +1 for my specialty of watching, or
No, not for this one.
Okay.
4 is enough. What you initially take is a dozen dogs. You actually realize they're not dogs. They're actually wolves. They're slightly smaller than most wolves. They look just like large dogs, but you can tell by the look in their eyes that they are highly intelligent, and she's got a dozen of them.
Excellent.
And I assume Evan's driving tonight?
Yes.
Jenny, you need some milk bones?
I don't think it's gonna work on this pack, but thanks for the idea, Evan. Just stay out here, leave the car running, please.
Wait at the car.
she's
Got it.
Yeah. It's probably the safest place you can be right now. She's gonna get out and she's going to head towards the door.
And as you go up to the gate, you didn't notice it at first, but a guy actually steps out from the tall bush that's right near the gate. I was told to expect you. Going in, don't mind the pups.
I'm gonna use Sense the Beast on this guy.
Okay. Let's have you roll that up. Let's see. It is. Let me pull up
Just that is
the sheet.
animalism. It's
Sense the
resolve and
Beast?
animalism.
Yep.
Yeah.
versus composure and something. Let me pull up here and make it bigger. Composure, subterfuge. Okay. That. Come here, dice. Give me a die. Thank you. He is, let me see what it gets you. Vampire werewolf. Do you get a critical? Did you get a critical? No,
I'm
you
going
don't.
to re-roll these two just to
Okay.
see if I can get a crit. So, Nope. Never mind.
There's no hostility. You can determine that. You don't feel any that they have an underlying beast, but 4 successes. He's definitely not angered. He seems to be slightly amused. They're not prepared. You don't feel any threat coming off him at all.
Okay. Interesting. Thank you for the warning, good sir. And she's going to just continue on towards the front door then.
And as you walk up, the wolves, they all watch you very closely. Very, very closely. And none of them moves. They don't wag their tails, no snarling. They just watch you as you walk up to the front door. And when you get up to the front door, it's open. And you actually see a woman. I'm going to share her picture. You can actually see her from the front door. We just got to find her picture here. There we go. Obviously a Hispanic woman. Long black hair. She's actually wearing a loose-fitting blouse, slacks. No, the picture shows her smoking. She is not smoking.
Mm.
And when she sees as you come up, she just waves for you to come in.
Genevieve's going to enter behind her. And once the door is closed behind her, she's going to say, "Thank you for the invitation, Primogen Hernandez. It is an honor."
I figured it was time we spoke, Genevieve Schutz. And as she speaks to you, 2 bigger than average dogs, even larger than the ones out front, come padding out from one of the back rooms. I'm going to have you roll again wits awareness on this one. Three successes. You going to willpower that one?
Guess the problem is my frenzy. If I have a, well, screw it.
Very nice. 5. 5 is enough for you. You don't realize it at first, but you've seen one of those 2 dogs, those wolves. Didn't really notice them because of where you were at the airport. You're used to seeing dogs lurking in shadows. But you saw one of those 2 that night you all were out there at the airport looking at Flyboy's hangar. One of them was skulking around the airport.
Okay. I am going to say I'm going to using Feral Whispers. I'm just going to say to the wolves, like, who's the good boy?
And they kind of look at you.
Yeah.
They don't really respond. They seemed, but again, there's an intelligent look in their eye that you're not used to seeing in wolves. She goes, and Rosa hears you do that, and she smiles a bit. These 2 right here. These are my special watchers.
Ah, they do look like very fine specimens.
Mated pair. Work well together. I just wanted to have you come out here and speak with me a bit to find out where you stand on everything and to let you make sure you understand, well, really what our purpose here in the city is, Clan Gangrel.
Well, the information is always appreciated. I've been trying to catch my footing and it's not been going so well lately, so
I understand it takes time, especially, well, I mean, many in the city don't really think we're part of the city. They don't like us. They think we should have left, you know? And we didn't. I mean, that's just the way that is. At least I didn't. And a number of us didn't. But here's the thing. We got a war going on. Now, it's about fucking time we have a war going on. Because, to put it mildly, that asshat Kevin Jackson went and made fucking peace with the lupine, and he shouldn't have. And now that we got the lore back on, or the war on, maybe we can clear this problem out finally. And I'm hoping I can count on you to help. See, me and my pack out there, we're really good at finding them. And you'd be amazed how well we can take them down. In numbers.
interesting. I had always been told to avoid our slightly kindred of a sort, or brethren of a sort, different in their own way, just because they're supposed to be so
It's
powerful.
not our kindred. They're an
No,
abomination
you-
monsters. We are going to kill them.
I'm not saying that they don't deserve to die, Primogen. That was not my intent. I had always been warned to stay away from them, so.
Well, the ones who say stay away from are generally the ones who make peace treaties with them. All that leads to is years of us getting lazy. And then a bunch of us get killed again. So my policy is the best way to deal with them is to just eradicate all of them. We don't have to worry about a peace if there's none around the city anymore. I don't care how other cities handle it. Us, we're going to handle it the right way. We're going to get rid of them.
That would provide quite a bit of safety if they were gone, I suppose, since there's no more worry of a random lupine bursting out of a wall or something. So
that's the idea. And, you've got connections. You have, from what I'm told, significant financial resources. I do as well. Hernandez's associates has actually done rather well legally. Since you're new to the city and you're not really recognized, how did you get into the city? Did you fly in? Did you drive in? Just curious.
I had arranged for a flight in, not to any of the major airfields, just to one of the smaller ones, and then drove the rest of the way into the city. So
you didn't fly in through the actual the real airport O'Hare?
No, I was warned to not fly into any of the major airports. So
You see, we've got a problem with that with the airport. And it's what I'm wanting Clan Gangrel to focus on. As a clan, you see. The one who controls it and who's been given domain you could call over it, though he's fucking not worthy of a domain. He seems to let just anyone come in and out. And let's just say it's become a real easy place for lupine to enter the surrounding area. And if we were to somehow deny them that use, it might slow down their ability to replace losses.
I can understand that, so much of that, or what you're getting at so far. What is your plan for going forward then to...
I want somebody who might be able to arrange the removal of a certain thin-blooded monster from there.
From the airport?
Oh, yes. He should not control it. I don't care whose pet he is. He should not be running the airport. He is letting those fucking lupine in.
So who is this Thunblood and where can he be found specifically at the airport? Or does he not reside at the airport? I'm sorry,
He resides there.
Oh.
He lives there.
Interesting.
Got a little building on it. Goes by Noah Grewal.
And you said someone gave him domain at the airport?
The prince did. Now look, I understand. I'm not asking you to go against the prince's wishes. But what I'm saying is, if an accident befell him, or, well, I know he's up to something, I just don't know what yet. If evidence were to come about he's up to something, your Primogen would be very thankful. Especially if we managed to take control of it. Because I got bad news for you. That used to be ours. Fucking Jackson gave it to the lupine as a hunting area and told them just they don't get the airport itself. They get to hunt around it. And then he gave the airport itself to that fucking Thinblood.
That seems like a really weird arrangement, considering if a werewolf were to suddenly jump out at a car leaving the airport, I think that would be a masquerade breach.
Well, they don't care.
Way.
But
of course they don't care.
Jackson made the deal just... The rules of the hunting are pretty simple. Well, they don't hunt people anyway. Any kindred caught lurking around the airport too much, Jackson looks the other way if they disappear. If they're on airport property, no go. To and from the airport, no go. Yes, it struck me as very fucking strange. And to take it from us, that's a fucking slap in the face to our clan. No loyalty.
Yeah. I may be fairly new to the Knights compared to many, but I've been around long enough to see the gangrel fall, as it were, and it's sad. It's not like this everywhere, though, so it's just Chicago, it seems. Or
we lost a lot. We took a lot of casualties in the last war, and then when the clan split, a bunch left. Really not many of us here. The Wolf Pack, and I've tried to get them to do something about this shit, but they're not who they used to be. That's just a fact. And then fucking Jackson fucking makes that deal with him, makes a truce, but while the truce is gone, let's just say that opens it up, right?
Well, I can't promise anything, but I can try to find something for you. I mean, I would hate to be hanging around too much and then disappear, so.
I know a bit of your history. I know you understand your clan, where your blood lies. And since you're new here, that puts you at an advantage. And I can tell you, I've even heard who you're friends with. I don't even think she would approve of this kind of bullshit. You don't make deals with them. You don't fucking give them territory, and you sure as hell don't look the other way when they're yanking us off the fucking streets.
Are they the Lupine? Are they taking us off of the streets inside Chicago, or
well, if you wander around the airport and aren't obviously to and from, you're just hanging around loitering. Yeah, they've snatched one or two. So far, it's been fucking clanless or unaffiliated because the rest of us know better. But it's some bullshit.
Interesting. Sorry, the way you worded it, I thought you were perhaps were talking that they were in Chicago proper, and I was going to say that is definitely a problem.
But
of a
the other night
kind.
they hit, well, a couple weeks ago they hit somebody on the east side. Dust up with a biker gang. That was ours. Gangrel. Wolfpack luckily was there to put a stop to it. They need to be fucking put down. They're rabid fucking dogs. And even we don't deal with rabid dogs. You put them down. They're fucking monsters.
So I'm sorry that I cannot give you a yes or no, but I suppose I just need to know, what is it that you require of me? And I will try to do the best to see it done.
I'm not asking you to go against the prince. But if you find some dirt, get some dirt, investigate, look around. And it comes my way, I'll be thankful. We might be able to win this fucking war eventually, if we can stop them from flying people in every time we turn around. Or when we identify them and get a good bead on them, they fly out.
Okay, I can do that. Like I said, I don't want to promise anything and not be able to produce. So
keep your eyes open. If you get a chance, poke around a bit. If an accident happens, well, I got your back. But if an accident happens and something just happens to happen to that thin blood little shit, well, if he's been given domain or not, you know the policy on thin bloods around here. They aren't given the protections of the tower. They step out of line, they get got. That's straight from the prince's mouth himself.
I'll keep that in mind. But I have a question for you, Primogen.
Of course.
Your animosity towards the Lupine is well deserved, but what happens when the war is won? What do you have?
And we'll figure that out when I get there. I mean, there's always... Go back to what, I'd love to be doing, stopping the fucking illegal animal trafficking, fucking people buying, thinking wild animals are their fucking pets. They even do that through fucking O'Hare. That's the other reason I want O'Hare, but that's... Let's just win the war first, then we can figure out what the aftermath ends up. All that matters is winning.
That is perfectly fair. I was just curious. So it's always interesting to see what people's end goal is. So,
I mean, the war is open right now and it's on. So it's our chance to do it without crossing the lines we were told to do, which is not to fuck with, the Lupine truce. Well, there's no truce. Free game. So it's our chance. But I'm not expecting you to get involved in that. It's what me and Pack are for. And hopefully I can get the wolf pack involved in it. Because, I mean, the war is on. Tyrus has no excuse not to jump in, right? Unless he's gone soft.
Oh, I'm sure he hasn't gone soft, but
That's the
I
hope.
will do my best to find what I can. And I feel like I've probably taken enough of your time tonight, so I don't want to overstay my welcome.
You know, hopefully we can get something worked out. We can get some more better territory. You know, losing the airport was a big deal. Good place for us to just get out and relax, you know? Now we got a fucking yacht club. Fucking Gangrel with a yacht club.
Yeah, boating isn't for everyone, so.
No, it's not. Yeah, you have the rest of your night. That's fine. I just wanted to see where you stand on a few things. I'm sorry I get a little passionate.
Oh, it's okay. Passion is important. Keeps us young. Or young at heart. Something. It's okay.
Keeps us going, at least. And she reaches down and just kind of rubs the top of the wolf's head. Hey, see you later, Genevieve.
As you as well, Primogen. Thank you for your time.
And as you leave, you're followed by the two wolves as you walk out of the building. They walk you all the way to the gate as your escort, all the way back to the gate. And when you get in the car, Evan is sitting there and he's, okay, yeah, milk bones wouldn't work. Those aren't dogs, are they?
No.
Okay, that's
No.
not pleasant.
Yeah, she has a multitude of wolves. She's gonna send Genevieve's gonna pull out her cell phone. She's gonna send a text message to Jacqueline and say, I want to swing past the cabaret and talk shop if you're available tonight. She's just gonna tell Evan to start heading in that direction though.
And Jackie will respond back, nearly there. We'll need to leave, but I'll wait for you to arrive before we go.
Jimmy will respond back with perfect.
Okay.
She's going to actually make a comment to Evan. Make sure Miss Savona knows that Rosa's not stupid, but she is trying to instigate a war with the Lupine.
I'll let her know she's always wanting to hear some more information on the state of the council.
Yeah. Well, I know she had warned me about her, but she is, I don't want to say she is crazy. She is driven, but she is driven in a direction that is not healthy. So
that was one of her concerns, I'm sure. I'll let her know. I'll pass it up when I speak with her again.
Thank you, Evan.
That's why I'm here, right?
Indeed.
Well, I'm here to do that and look pretty. I think I got the looking pretty part down. Yeah, I do. He looks in the mirror and he kind of...
Evan, you do yourself a massive disservice, but anyway.
Yeah, we're going to this cabaret thing. I've heard things about it. Think we'll have time to hang out? I can check out some of the burlesque dancing or something? Or are you going to keep me in the car again? No.
We will figure out when we get there.
I know. I already know. That's what you say when you're going to keep me in the car.
You never know, Evan.
Yeah.
Might be a treat night. So.
It might snow in the Sahara too. Who knows, right?
Hey, you can see some burlesque dancers. It'll be your milk bone.
I see that. That was almost insulting. Oh, well. And he drives over to the cabaret. Now, Jackie, it's been a good night at the cabaret, but it's closing up now.
Yeah.
And Jenny, do you leave Evan in the car, Jenny, when you go up to the door of the cabaret?
No, I actually have him come in with me because I told him he could see some burlesque dancers.
Except it's closed up and there are no burlesque dancers.
I don't know that.
And he walks in, he looks around and goes, I knew it. Ain't that the luck?
Sorry, this is our closing time. But definitely try to arrange to stop by earlier in the evening and you can enjoy the shows.
See, Evan, tomorrow.
I know better than to try to hold you to that. Always somewhere to drive. It's fine. It's fine. I'll find a chance. I'll be at the car, ma'am. And he turns around and walks out.
So, I actually need to meet with Roscoe at his shop in Southside. Would you care to ride with me, or do you want to follow me?
I'll ride with you.
Okay. If you want, you can have Evan follow us. Or he can stay here with the car and I'll drop you back off. It's up to you.
No. Yeah, I'll have him stay here. That's fine.
Okay, that's fine.
I feel bad for him sometimes, but that's the life.
Yeah.
So.
All right, then. Come this way. We'll go out the back.
And as you go out the back, Etienne and Peter are there tonight. Peter's not off at the airport tonight, waiting at the car. Hello, Miss Schutz? I assume you're still going to Roscoe's shop, ma'am?
Yes, please. And she will be accompanying me.
Yes, ma'am. And Etienne opens the door, and Peter actually opens the other door to let Jenny get in. And then they close the door and climb in the front and start driving off. And I'll turn it over to Jenny and Jackie as they ride over to Roscoe's shop.
You wish to speak with me?
Yeah. So I know this was Sam's thing, but Primogen Hernandez is hellbent on starting an actual full-out war with the Lupine in a bid to reclaim O'Hare Airport.
Oh, that's her motivation.
But she also wants to depose and dispose of our dear Flyboy.
Oh, well, that's going to happen either way. But I doubt that O'Hare is going to be granted back to Rosa.
Oh, yes, I would highly doubt that as well. Though she seems to be under the impression that kindred who wander near O'Hare disappear.
Well, there is Lupine territory around the airport, which could be a culprit. There is also perhaps certain government officials, and we know they do deep scans and such for our kind there. So there may be some Second Inquisition involvement at the airport. That could be another culprit. And then, of course, I have found out that the reason you found ties to Sovereign Holdings with Flyboy's business is because Flyboy was found by Portia, the one who runs the Succubus Club. And Portia ensured that Primogen Annabelle of Clan Toreador backed this thin blood to the prince to ensure his survival.
Why is Chicago so different?
Because very old kindred have been playing a game a long time in this city.
Well, they should pack up their fucking pieces and start a new game because if you're a Primogen, why would you stick your neck out for Thin Bloods? Because Rosa made a point of telling me that Prince Jackson had said it's open season on Thin Bloods. You can do whatever you want to.
But needless to say, because Prince Jackson would have just offed Flyboy had Annabelle not stood up for him. Because they basically, from my perspective, I see it as they see Flyboy as a tool for getting kindred in and out of the city discreetly.
It's not the only thing he's getting in and out of the city discreetly. Rosa believes that Flyboy helps bolster the Lupine numbers as well, flying in their brethren. Which, I don't know. I always thought the Lupine saw us as the enemy they must kill. So I don't know why they would make a deal with one of our kind, though I guess Thin Bloods are hardly our kind.
Exactly. I'm not sure what their opinions are on Thin Bloods. But yes, okay, that's interesting. That's very interesting.
again, it's hard to tell how substantiated her claims are.
Exactly,
Because
it is hearsay.
She seems a little
Driven?
yes, she's very single-minded. Because I asked her what's her end goal? What is it she seeks to gain from the end of the Lupine War? And she claimed that she would go back to her old life and she would stop the animal trafficking. And which seems like a perfectly fine hobby, but that's no reason to go to war with creatures that...
No offense, she is a primogen. Great you have a hobby. What the fuck are you going to do for your clan?
She wants to get back territory for the clan Gangrel. She did make comment that the domain was in a sorry state, but
Sounds to me like she is driven by her own purposes and ambitions.
Oh.
Even beyond this Lupine War, she wants to go back to preventing the trafficking of animals.
Yeah.
Of course, that's done at the airport. That's why she wants the fucking airport. She doesn't want to elevate the status of the clan.
I know. Besides, she even made the case that the clan doesn't deserve to have a primogen. There's few Gangrel left in this city domain area. And the ones she pointed to were herself, the wolf pack, and me. And
her predecessor was far better.
Well, that seems to always be the case, but oh well. C'est la vie, or wait, is that the right term? What I get for saying words I'm not 100% sure.
Yes, well, interesting. I'm sure you found the meeting with your primogen very enlightening.
Yeah.
Hey, but at least you have one.
Yay.
I do not.
Realistically, with her behavior, I don't really have a primogen.
I feel you on that. She
just wanted the ask, and I, of course, had to be sure. What can I do for you, primogen? Because you don't say, "What fuck you, primogen," when you've got two wolves standing next to said primogen. So yes. Yeah.
So she wanted you to basically off the thin blood.
Yes, she wanted information, but if I could kill said thin blood, that would be even better to her.
Oh, that's what she really wants, more than the information.
Yeah. She also asked me to run with her pack and kill Lupine, and I just kind of skirted that question because I was always told to stay away from the pointy end of the werewolf, so yeah.
Yeah, that's telling too. She's desperate for fighters.
Yeah, she's really hoping that that Tyrus will rally the wolf pack and bring them out to her aid in this war against the Lupine. So.
Oh. Well, I have ties to those individuals, and on occasion I do have to socialize with them for certain matters. And I will tell you that Tyrus, about all he's good for is fighting at this point. He is that detached.
Well,
he's barely aware of reality.
I mean, if that's the case, he may join her on her crusade.
Perhaps, but he is more worried about his own pack. Because he still has that sense of duty to his own pack. So, he may not be as quick to join a crusade that is destined to fall apart because, to be perfectly honest, you were not called back, but after the discussion that we had with the prince, very likely the Lupine aggressions are going to be resolved very soon.
Oh, well, that's excellent.
Oh, I'm sure Rosa will lose her mind.
Yeah. That's a Rosa problem.
It is a Rosa problem.
So
Yes.
not
But
necessarily
yes.
my problem.
Yes. So basically, yes, the prince was made aware of some information that will basically open the door for a potential truce agreement.
Perfect.
Yes.
That is very excellent news.
Mm-hmm. And it looks like we are here at Roscoe's new shop here in Sussex.
And at the same time this scene was going on, over in Roscoe's shop, Roscoe, you've been trying to reach, to actually get hold of Sunji. And you've tried calling the number you have. You even called the tea shop. And the old lady there at the tea shop, she hasn't seen her either. Sunji hasn't been seen actually since the last time you talked to her. That's the last time she was at the cheese shop. So, I guess you'll have to wait to try to find her at another point. But as you're sitting there, you do see Roscoe or you do see Jackie's vehicle pull up, and Etienne open up the door. But who gets out of the vehicle is not just Jackie, but Jackie and Ginny actually get out of the vehicle and come to your shop. Now, they haven't been to the new shop. You gave the address to Jackie, but it's open now and there's no more boxes. It's not packed. And as you go into it, Jackie and Ginny, this bookstore / occult store, really mostly bookstore. Jack, you've been in the old one. It doesn't look much different. It's in a new place, but it's laid out about the same way. It seems Roscoe likes a certain pattern to his place.
Good evening, Roscoe.
Hi, Jackie.
Do you need to have a private discussion with me, or is it okay if Jenny is with us?
No, Jenny's fine.
Okay.
It's fine.
Okay. You want to talk here, or do you want to go in the back room, or what do you want to do?
Oh, do I have any customers in the store?
No, not at this hour. It's kind of late. It's real late. And though you do have late customers, normally by like midnight, they stop coming in because you normally close it up by midnight so that you can do other things. It's only special customers with prior arrangement that are allowed in after midnight. And you do have some of those.
But not tonight. So
In here is fine?
sure,
Okay.
this will work fine. I went to see a friend, Tracy, who knows a bit about warding, and you know how we've seen the Noah's Charter building. I tried to get some information from her about who might have been able to do such a thing, because it's a very advanced skill to do that. Turns out she was able to give me a name of somebody. I don't know if you've ever heard of him. Arden Canty.
I don't believe I've heard of that. Have I, Storyteller?
No, you don't recognize that name.
That name does not ring a bell.
Okay. He's apparently very skilled at doing wards, but he's got a side job of crazy preacher, apparently. He's out at the Holy Family Church rectory. He's been spouting off all kinds of like crazy stuff, like, Cain was an angel, and, life on earth is actually hell. But apparently he had, I'm sorry, go ahead.
That is Church of Cain.
It sounded kind of familiar, but I wasn't really sure. But yeah, I think you're right.
Yes.
What about the Church of Cain? I'm sorry.
Tell
Lamar had
exactly
pulled
that
up and
to
walks
Lamar.
in. Lamar had pulled up.
Tell exactly that to Lamar, because Lamar has even more probably experience with this than I do.
Yeah, while you were having the conversation, Lamar pulled up and came in through the front door.
I was just, hi. Hey, Lamar. I was just telling Jackie that I'd seen a friend just asking about the wards that we'd seen out at that building at the airport.
Right.
And who might have been able to do it. And she gave me the name of a guy, Arden Canty, whose other work is being a preacher at this church that he has. I don't know if you heard of it. What was it? The Holy Family Church. He lives in the rectory of it. he has a following. He has a crazy religion that he evangelizes and tells everybody about. Like I was telling Jackie, it's like, Cain is actually an angel, and what people are living here on Earth right now is really hell.
Wait, he's telling people that out loud.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I'm
And
sure
people
with his whole chest, Lamar.
Yes, and people are, from what you said, are just eating it up.
Son of a bitch.
So
Fucking-
I'm right, right? It's Church of Cain.
Yeah.
And about this time, Sam actually comes through the door.
So
I used to talk about that shit. Sorry.
Is Chicago just rife with cultists?
It seems that way, yes.
Yeah.
I mean, we have a large population here. It's bound to happen.
Yeah, everybody's got to have a game to play.
A game to play. In Las Vegas, we call that run the cultists out of town.
Fucking nodists.
Yes, well, speaking of those wards, I was able to speak with my dapper friend, and he told me of various locations, which I have now written down for you.
Oh, thank you.
That were that he had found, that he knew of. He hasn't found them all, but these are the ones he knew of so far that have the same wording as our
Okay.
club.
Okay.
So basically, he's aware of them, and I explained some of the unusual things we found in our club when we first vacated the vermin from it, and advised him of the skeleton so that he can be on the lookout for that in case he finds it in any of these other places. Perhaps this gentleman you speak of, if he knows so much about wards, he may know about all these locations.
From what I was told, it's actually possible that he may have done the work at some of these places. He does it on commission, trading favors.
Interesting.
That's it.
And Eleanor's knocking at the door, peeking through.
Come on in. Come on in.
So,
And the whole coterie is back together, this time not in the club, but in Roscoe's shop.
so I have some information. Oh, I'm sorry. Please, Eleanor. Please.
Oh, it's very convenient that everybody's here.
Yes.
But do please.
Roscoe asked me to come, and he had some information he wanted to run by me, and I had some to give to him. But since we're all here, we might as well discuss a little bit of stuff. But do you have something?
If I may, I do have something to tell Roscoe and Sam, which is so good that you're here. Did you get my text earlier? And I reached my hands out to each of them.
Yes. I wasn't exactly sure what you meant by the walls may have eyes.
Well, I ought to warn you that Dolly knows your faces and might have reason to suspect you of bad things and might be very angry. So that is why I asked you to be watchful and careful. And should anything happen, don't follow me. Don't try to find me. It would be very dangerous. And
For whom?
For you. Both of you. And of course, I have the utmost faith in your skills. But Dolly is Dolly. But and indeed, all the rest of you, if something should happen, do not follow me. Don't try to find me. If all is well, I will contact you.
What sort of thing do you have in mind that might be happening?
I don't know. I imagine that when it happens, it will be explosive, sudden, if not outright violent.
Man, this town could fuck up a wet dream.
It could, indeed.
It often does.
Genevieve is going to actually go over and hug Eleanor.
Oh, Ginny. I return the hug.
I'm sorry, I didn't know anything was going on. I feel so bad. I feel like such a bad friend. I haven't offered to help you.
No. Oh, you're not a bad friend. No, indeed. I suppose I would hope to keep everyone out of this particular business, as it is so dangerous and likely to end in some kind of finality.
Well, even if though you don't want us to follow you, is there anything that we can do to prepare to help in some way?
I cannot think of anything. Simply to keep yourselves safe.
Jackie will walk up to Eleanor and put a hand on her arm. Whatever happens, you will survive it.
I can but hope.
And I just look over at Sam. She better.
You will.
You are all such good friends. But indeed, don't let me stop the conversation and the sharing of secrets, as it seems you were in such deep counsel.
Oh, no secrets, at least not amongst us.
So, some information on Mr. What is his name? Grewel? Whatever it is. Noah Flyboy? He was invested in by Sovereign Holdings because the Thin Blood was found by Portia.
You still alive after that?
And then Portia made sure that Annabelle backed this Thin Blood as an excellent tool for the elite in the city to ensure that kindred associates can be flown discreetly in and out of the city. And so the prince did not lop off the head of a Thin Blood poacher, and instead set him up at the airport, funded him, and put him to work. This informs me that not only are certain pieces on the board known to us, but now I have a new one revealed. The prince is also on that side.
I'm sorry.
The game I mentioned is what I'm talking about. I can elaborate later.
Perfect.
So needless to say, that is, I don't believe it was intended as the elite being tied to Second Inquisition. I think this is Flyboy deciding to play both sides. Perhaps because nobody really knows what this guy's history is other than he was a veteran and he was embraced, supposedly is his story, and didn't know what happened to him, and he basically washed up here and was poaching. I know for a fact that the Second Inquisition captures kindred to do experiments. I wouldn't even put it past that they might have even created Flyboy.
Well, how else would Second Inquisition come and go?
Right. So,
I was going to say, did they actually verify that he is thin-blooded? Because he may not even be.
Yes, they did. They did.
kindred.
I'm sure verify he was thin-blooded. Everyone is saying he's thin-blooded, so I'm pretty sure that was verified. There are ways, of course, and it's under circumspect situations. It is done in this city. But I will say also, I have someone who is able to bypass the wards and get information from that building. And they are going to do such. A bit of eavesdropping.
We need to take this guy out as soon as possible. I understand we want to get as much information as we can, but we need to put a bullet in his head and then lop that head off and kick it into the river as soon as possible, because every night that he's up and moving, he's selling more of us he's selling us down the river. so to speak.
So, that is my updates on that. And I also was able to get information on other sites for Roscoe that were warded like our club. And he has someone he's going to be speaking with about the wards because he believes he's found the person who did them.
Eleanor,
Yes.
please roll me composure and intelligence.
Do I get to use Unswayable Mind?
Yes, you do. And you can, of course, include your blood your blood potency bonus of
Yep.
1 die.
Okay. I'm sorry, what was it? Composure and
Intelligence.
intelligence.
Four successes. Checking mine. Did not get a crit on it, but I have 6. So, you hear a voice in your head. Daughter, you must come to me. We have to speak. Come to the treatment plant. And you can feel that you're being pulled towards the sewage treatment plant outside of town.
I take a step back from the group. It's beginning, and I must go. Do not follow.
We won't, but where are
Wait,
you
just
going?
1 second.
Yes.
And I'll reach under my coat and undo a strap and pull out that ivory-handled kukri in its sheath, wrap it up in the straps that hold it to my body, and just pass it to her.
I
Just in
take it.
case.
Thank you, Sam.
Eleanor, if you haven't yet, please tell Michael the contingency.
I've already spoken to him of it.
Excellent. But you will survive this.
And when I do, I will contact each of you and let you know.
Wait, we're just letting this happen.
It has
Part of
to,
the
Lamar.
plan. Part of the plan, man.
It has to.
I
Man,
would
fucking sucks.
I would feel more the stronger if all of you were to come with me, but it is not only my sire you must worry for, but the Justikar as well.
Fuck this town, man.
I agree. Be safe and well.
You too, Eleanor.
I want that back, and I want you to give it to me.
I shall. I cannot promise, but I shall.
Well, if you can't give it to me, then I don't want it back. Catch 22, that shit.
You will get it back,
Fantastic.
and I will be back.
And Jackie leans in and gives you a kiss on the cheek.
I smile and I return the kiss on the cheek. And I reach out to Ginny, and I put my hand on your arm and give a gentle squeeze.
Better come back, Eleanor, or I'm going to find your sire and I'm going to turn him into a fucking breakfast burrito a la Sun. I will make it happen.
I have no doubt you will. And then, sorry, go ahead.
Mm-mm.
And then as I'm turning to go, I actually turn back and I give each of the boys a kiss on the cheek.
Okay.
And then I go.
And as Eleanor gets in the car, we're going to stay here with the coterie as she's making the trip over, and I will turn the scene over to the remaining members of the coterie until we flash back to what will be the final scene of the evening.
Genevieve activates Silence of Death, and you just see her mouth open and what looks like she's kind of like yelling. You don't really hear it. It's very tiny, muffled if you hear anything. She stamps her foot and she just starts like pacing in a fucking circle.
Hey, Bosco, I need to talk to you in your office real quick.
Okay, we'll let Sam and Roscoe real quick have their talk.
What's up?
I gave you a picture of Al Capone.
Mm-hmm.
Did you do that voodoo that you do?
I could.
Track him down.
But what's the point? You mean... Oh.
If we can prove he's alive.
That would seriously shit in a lot of people's breakfast.
And it would pull the proverbial sword of Damocles away from our heads.
Yeah, it really would. That's a hell of an idea, Sam. Okay. Do you have any recent pictures, or are these all going to be from the original era?
These are going to be from the original era, but Homeboy was oft photographed and...
Okay. Sure. I'll be happy to do that. Ritual, do you want any witnesses to this?
Yeah.
Just besides you and me?
It's going to be me, you, and a 10-star.
Okay.
That's it. Only people who are going to be in the know.
No, I agree with that. It's we have a whole lot of other suspect players here, and he does seem to be the only straight shooter so far.
Ish.
Yeah, well, take what we can get.
You're the only straight shooter I've ever known, Bosco. You got me?
I got you.
All right.
Jenny and Jackie and Lamar, if you wish to have a brief scene, it's all yours. If not, let me know.
Genevieve actually goes over and like grabs Jacqueline's hand. She drops hands to death. I'm sorry. I know I haven't been here for very long, and I know I haven't known Eleanor as long as all of you. It's just, this is very distressing to me.
I understand. I do. It is also distressing to me. I am just very much practiced in controlling emotions.
Don't have to worry about emotions when you can just bury it in money, so...
That is facts. That is facts, but no, I have faith that she will return to us in one piece. Her sire is a wanted kindred. Like, highly wanted kindred.
Well,
And
I meant what I said. I would drag him into the sun myself if I had the power.
There's a Justicar in town who also is an Alastor that is here to hunt him. This is why this had to happen. Because that Justicar would not take well to an entire coterie of people coming in and potentially stealing her kill.
Fuck her pride. Still bullshit. I hate this.
I've never, ever rooted for law enforcement of any kind. Until now. And I feel dirty saying that shit.
She is very good at what she does. And she has one hell of a team.
I mean, once they get their heads out of their asses and,
Granted, I will give you that. There's a reason why I sent you all away in that situation. And I actually had the balls to tell her no about something.
There's a very inappropriate comment I can make right now, Jackie, but I'm not going to make it. I'll wait till we're talking privately for that. But In the meantime, you're probably the only person walking the face of the earth who could probably do something like that.
Yes, well, I protect those who are loyal. It's what I do.
And as this coterie sits there, we are going to flash to Eleanor in a car with Michael. Ma'am, sewage treatment plant?
Yes, there's going to be a confrontation there.
You need me to help, right? I'm there. I'm
No, Michael, this is far beyond your skill and strength, I'm afraid. And I want you, once you have dropped me off, to get as far away from that place as you can. Go back to Roscoe's shop, go back to the club, go to Jackie, if you must. And we talked about this. If you do not hear from me, you may rely on Jackie.
And you see him struggle with the command, trying to find a way to ignore it. But he finally just nods.
I know. I know it is very difficult. I understand. And I cannot imagine how difficult it is for you.
Don't want to lose another.
I know.
And you're a hell of a lot better than the one I had.
Well, we shouldn't want you to trade downwards.
Well, but a sewage treatment plant, you know how long it's going to take me to get that out of your outfit?
Yes.
We're just going to burn the clothes. I'll
Yes.
buy you new ones tomorrow during the day, okay? You're going to get through this. I'll buy you new ones. And we'll burn
You'll
the
buy
ones
me
you have.
something in violet, yes?
Whatever you want. Just please let me do this tomorrow.
All right.
Be there tomorrow.
Yes. And I promise, as soon as it is over, I will let you know so you can come get me.
I'm going to hold you to that.
Mm-hmm.
And as you arrive, it's a closed sewer treatment plant. Normally it's run 24 hours a day, but there is nobody here. But the gate that leads into the main area, where not just the section that leads to the actual fields of water, but also leads to a bunch of pipes, pumps, routing. The gate is open.
Drop me here, Michael.
Okay. And again, he's trying to fight against it, but 6-point blood bond is very difficult. He don't have enough successes to resist the command.
As the car stops and I open the door, I actually lean over, give him a kiss on the cheek. It'll be all right.
I hope
It'll be
so.
all right.
I hope so.
It will be. Now go. And I get out of the car.
And the car very slowly pulls away, like he's trying not to hit the accelerator, but he still has to obey what he was told, so he has to be going. He's just delaying it as long as he can. And as you're heading into the sewage treatment plant, you do catch sight of an owl quite a bit up in the air above you as it's circling.
I don't acknowledge it, but I keep going.
And as you get deeper into the sewage treatment plant, you come to where a bunch of the pipes are and the pumps. A lot of machinery, hard to see clearly through the whole area. But you do find an individual standing there. And they are in a form you saw more often than any other. They are there in their natural form. Neither male nor female, a little bit of both. Very them, actually. Hello, daughter. You have come.
We'll always come to your call.
Are your friends coming too? His The Justicar are coming?
If the Justicar is watching me as she said she would, then I have no doubt she will be arriving.
Twitch is good, but not as good as he thinks. I saw through the plan. It was easy. His stink was on it.
You would know that scent well.
Yes. But I still waited. It is time to show them what a god does, child. And show you what you will become. What you must become.
Why must?
You've already taken the first step.
What was that?
You brought them to me.
Was that the test?
No. That was part of the journey. I wait for them. Hopefully they arrive soon.
I sense they are close.
I see the one in the air. So the rest must be here soon.
How many times a battle like this, Titans, immortal, the very edge of time?
Well, to
How
be
many?
honest, I have killed more so-called immortals than they realize. Tonight, I shall kill 3 more.
And should they prevail instead, what then?
They cannot go against the will of God. They cannot stop the wind. They must be taught. I will spare one to bring the lesson to others.
And your sire, is he also a god?
No. He is a man flawed. But he served my purpose here.
And I see the child then becomes the master.
Well, he created me to be what I am. As often, when you create a weapon.
He said it was a mistake.
Well, no, it was no mistake. It needed to happen. Must happen. The mistake would be I let him live this long. But I guess if I had killed him, we wouldn't be here. You wouldn't be getting to see what you will be, what I will make you. Child.
It was supposed to be sooner than this, wasn't it? You expected something sooner. I've held out too long against your will.
The others, they tried to betrayal before they were ready. That's why they died. Now only 2 remain.
2.
You are at the right time.
There is another.
Well, yes.
Who is the other?
A family member.
Yours?
No. Not mine. The one you failed to destroy, child. The one you spared in the crypt.
What?
Well, yes.
No.
You
No,
spared
that-
him for a purpose.
It cannot be.
But it is.
I want to detect lies.
Okay. You can roll, I don't know. I know it's going to be an insight. Unless you're going to try something even crazier than that. But-
Insight's good.
Yep. Wits insight? What's your specialty?
All right. Sounds good. We'll do it.
The one thing you know is that Dolly, wow, 8 with a crit. Very nice. You also know that Dolly, when they're in their natural self, subterfuge has never been their thing. They're only good at subterfuge when hiding behind somebody else. And they're not lying.
And you chose because I chose not to destroy.
You spared them for a reason. And I knew the reason. To join you one day.
Where is he?
Somewhere else. Somewhere learning, somewhere reaching the point you have. It's okay. Our friends are here. They'll be here very shortly. You have time for one more question. We will talk afterwards.
What is the purpose of a god?
To mete out justice, punishment, reward, as they see fit, to their whims.
And only that?
Well, of course. That's what makes them a god. Compassion, pity, love. What is that to a god? What is that to anything with power?
Path to greater power.
Fool's errand. A fool's errand. And you hear a thump behind you. And that's one. And from the shadows on the behind Dolly, you actually see someone you recognize step out of the shadows. Michaela, wielding a large serpentine knife in his hand. Made of it's not silver. It's a silvery metal, but it doesn't catch the light like it should. Light doesn't reflect off it at all. It absorbs the light as it's struck. I sense the second. And then you hear a voice behind you. It's when you recognize it's Lucinda's. Dolly, in the name of the tower, you're anathema to us. You will pay for your crime tonight. And actually, to your right steps Natasha out of the machine works and the piping area. And the kind of smirk she's had is not evident tonight. There's a seriousness and a glint in her eye that you don't recognize, you haven't seen before. Actually, you have seen it in your memories. It's because of the memory you shared between her when Twitch held your hand. It's when she had to do something on the streets that was not pleasant, but it was about survival. They're here, child. Watch and understand. And as Dolly says this, you suddenly hear a bunch of noises. Scrabbling. Little tiny claws. And out of the pipes issue not one rat, not 10 rats. Hundreds of rats come out of every single pipe in the area. Swarms of them. They thought me easy. But my pets will play too. And then the mass of rats charges. A whole wall almost of them, a solid tide of vermin. And while everybody knows, one rat's not normally a challenge. 2 rats are not a challenge. Even a kindred has problems dealing with hundreds of sharp little teeth. And Dolly just stands in the middle. As Lucinda suddenly is fighting for her own life in a sea of rats. The only one that seems to not have as many attacking is the one who was an owl. For some reason, they seem to be fighting amongst themselves close to him, though even he has a few on him. And everyone that blade touches that Michaela is holding, as soon as it touches him, you see him turn brown and shrivel. But there's no end to the ones that are coming out. More and more. And then you hear a voice in your ear. Good evening, Eleanor. And it's a voice you've recognized. You've heard it whisper in your head before. The emissary is speaking to you. And you can feel the blood trickle down your nose as it speaks.
Emissary. A fine time for you to show.
Been watching.
I see.
Seems you're in a problem. Seems. Well, it seems you baited a trap. But used the wrong trap. Seems the hunters are now being hunted.
Perhaps that's the hunter's mistake and not the bait's fault.
Well, you spiders on your webs. You never notice when the bigger spider's waiting. Always think you have them. Will you survive? Will your friends win?
I don't know.
Doesn't look good.
No, these are more rats than I've ever seen in all my years. And I am no fighter.
So, the question is, would you like them to win? I can do it. I can turn the rats against the one who holds them. My power predates yours. The beasts will do what I say.
You certainly would not do such a thing for nothing.
No. Oh, no.
What do you ask in return?
There is a favor I must ask you at a later date.
What kind of favor?
Very simple favor.
Does it bring harm on those I care for?
No. We will say it's a favor to answer some questions. You will be safe. You will not be harmed. But you will have to answer some questions at a later time. Very simple request. One I would not offer you were it my choice. But one I must.
'Tis a request of your master.
Yes.
I am going to look at the fight. How is the fight going?
It's not going well. Lucinda's tough, been true. She's bitten by little rat teeth at least 2 or 3 dozen times already. And every time she wants to try to get clear to try to go after Dolly, who's just standing there in the middle like nothing has happened, she finds her path blocked by an almost wall of rats. Her feet entangled. Same goes for Michaela and Natasha, even Grigori, who is now shifted into a wolf form, has got 50 of them on his back as he struggles to try to keep clear of them.
I am holding the cookery that Sam gave me very tightly, and I say to the emissary, Emissary, are your powers and that of your master that of a god?
I told your friend God is dead. I have the powers of those. The only gods that are left.
Very well. Turn the tide, and I will answer the questions.
The pact is made. And you suddenly see something land in front of you, right next to Dolly. And I say something because it's not what you saw before. What you saw before when Ben had shifted and you saw a form behind him, it was rather insubstantial, wasn't fully formed, almost like a spirit's version of it. But what stands there now in front of you is, it's Ben, but he's got long limbs, lean body, shrouded in shadow, shifts around him. Almost looks like it's a cloak, makes him look almost Grim Reaperish. And the wings that you could barely perceive before, obviously now that he's fully formed, they're swan wings, but they're black, covered in shadow. You can see through them in places. And this creature looks over at Dolly. Master, I serve. I have brought the beast to serve you. And you see something you've never seen before. Dolly looks shocked. But I think it's time for my freedom, Master. You will no longer bind me to this world. And you see this form reach itself up, and the flames in its eyes get brighter. And then suddenly all the rats, first they turn on each other. Then, in a mass, they start moving towards Dolly. And Dolly puts their hands up as if to hold them back by their hands. And the beast standing beside Dolly just laughs. I've taken that from you. You are no longer my master. I serve no one now. And the rats swarm over Dolly. And the Dolly actually looks over as the rats are swarming, climbing up, and looks at you, Eleanor. And now you're on the track, child. You have taken the path you must. Do not weep for me. You will surpass me.
Goodbye. I will be 10 times greater than you.
I know. And Dolly looks like they're about to say something else, but when their mouth opens, one of the rats actually darts in. And Lucinda screams in rage and looks over. Fucking infernalist! That's how your fucking sire evaded us. A fucking infernalist.
So it would seem.
And Lucinda actually throws herself at the emissary, as does Michaela, Natasha, and Gregory. But they're wounded, and the emissary just jumps into the air with the large wings on their back and just hovers there. I am free. Freed from this thing, from the mortal. Good night, children of Cain. And the wings lift it and it shoots off into the darkness. Lucinda just looks at Gregory and does her head like that. And he You see him shift into an owl and tries to chase after it. You didn't know. It's Lucinda speaking. Your master was an infernalist. Explains a lot. Michaela got your memories shared as well. What happened with Twitch happens across all of you. She would have known if you had been aware of an infernalist. Just like she would have known if you were lying about this. Seems I was outplayed.
Well, you won.
No, I didn't. It won. That was mine. Dolly was to be mine. But that is neither here nor there, child. The tower thanks you for your service. The Alistairs thank you for your service. What happened here tonight will not be spoken.
No. No, and as always, my loyal service.
Good. I will look Jackie up one time. She owes me a favor. But not tonight. I am not presentable. And as the rats finish their grisly task, you actually see as they pull away, the form shifting to bone and then ash. Because Kendra can survive a lot, but being totally consumed doesn't give them enough to regenerate from. And then the rats start dying. All of them. Well, that's going to be a fun cleanup.
Poor creatures.
Bless her. Should have expected. That one's always been wily. Should have known they would see the trap. But problem solved. At least I saw it with my own eyes.
It is done.
It is done. Thank you for your help.
Yes, of course.
Michaela, clean it. Yes, ma'am. And Lucinda and Natasha, you may go.
Thank you.
And I believe this is where we end. Episode 4 of Season 4. Now, the viewer vote. The viewer vote this week is going to Eleanor, Sam, Jenny, and Jackie. Because of story advancement, and for Jenny, that scene with Lamar was fucking awesome. Actually, no, fuck that. I'm giving one to everybody. Because last episode, Roscoe got good info. The scene with Eleanor, or not, sorry, Jenny and, see, the problem with Eleanor being in the center of my screen. With Jenny and Lamar was awesome, deserves XP. Sam, Eleanor, Jackie, they deserve, everyone gets XP. I might as well just make this a 3 XP a session game here lately because such good shit going on. Now, of course, everyone pop on the Discord, vote for who gets a viewer vote this week. I'm not planning to give everybody XP this session. So let's see what we get. Reminder, we are raising money for the National Breast Cancer Foundation this whole stream. Please, donations, either down here. I've replaced our normal player donation link with the one for the Breast Cancer Foundation because of the charity fundraising. If you want to give to the players bits, give your bits to the players. They get the bits. But donations in the link below and on the right here and in YouTube, go to National Breast Cancer Foundation. Let's raise some money for a good cause because fuck cancer. I'm just going to say that. Fuck cancer in all forms. Fuck it. So let's go into the other parts. If you want to catch our back episodes, I just brought up YouTube. Go to right here. Links to YouTube. Join us on the Discord. Check out your merch. We've got merch. And if you don't even want the Windy City merch, don't worry. We have totally inappropriate merch like Red Rockets for Gaia, which is not right. Yeah, it's not right. Check out our friends over here. Great content creators. We love them. They're putting out good shit. I know this was a long episode, everybody, but it had to happen. So, trying to think of what else I missed. I'm going to turn it over to Lynn for the schedule. She's good at that.
All right. So thank you so much for sticking with us through this long episode. We had a lot of content that we needed to get covered so that we can move forward in our story for next session. For tomorrow, we have Haunted Chronicles with Tamshu at 8 p.m. Eastern. It is also all our streams this month are being run for the charity of Game Pink with the National Breast Cancer Foundation. So join us at 8 p.m. tomorrow for Haunted Chronicles with Tamshu and his crew. If you like delicious macaroni, join that stream. On Tuesday, premiere of Mage 2E, Neon Tempest, run by Ravnos Archon, 8 p.m. Eastern. You will see myself and Ivy Raven over this way because I'm mirrored. In that stream on Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern. It is going to be set in 1985, Miami, and there may be some guest appearances from the Neon Rain miniseries coming in. I'm looking at you, Mickey Bear. Looking at you with that lightsaber. All right. And then on the 6th, on Wednesday, we have the premiere of Moira, one of our players from Call of Cthulhu, and Ishvel, our D&D 5e stream that used to run on our channel. And from various one-shots, she's going to premiere as a GM for the first time on our channel at 8 p.m. Eastern, running Thirsty Sword Lesbians. I'm in that. Ivy Raven's in that. And we have an amazing cast of other female players at that table playing Thirsty Sword Lesbians.
Lanhee.
Yeah.
Evie Eternal, which people may remember from Wraith and Haunted Chronicles.
Yep. And
Circa de Panda, who's in Haunted Chronicles. And yeah, it's, yeah.
Yep. The ladies are busy this month playing and running games for charity for sure. All right. And then on, I'm going to give a little shout out because Nikki is going to be over on Onyx Path on Friday running Werewolf over there. She's got a new, basically, two-shot that she's running over there starting on the 8th at 8 p.m. Eastern on Onyx Path. And then on the 9th, which is Saturday, Shanky is running Paranoia again at 7 p.m. Eastern.
We got whole new batch, mostly new batch of Chaos Gremlins. We're killing Jack-o'-lantern.
So loads of game streams over the coming week. And of course, we'll be back here Sunday with Season 4, Episode 5, that mid-season episode where things are going to happen for sure. And we'll be here at 5 p.m. Eastern on Sunday.
If you thought the end of this episode made you go, shit, holy fuck, the end of that next episode, it's going to be, you won't want to miss it. Trust me, you don't want to have that spoiled in the channel on the Discord that you should join right now. Because not only can you talk with the cast and vote on who gets viewer votes, there are open casting calls right now. There's a casting call for Relen's The Way Home.
Yep.
And there's a casting call for Shanky's Zasser Kala game, which is Call of Cthulhu on with 4 times the horror.
Yes.
Just gonna say it's worse than normal Call of Cthulhu. Call of Cthulhu mixed with Warhammer, mixed with Hellraiser. I mean, it's on the Event Horizon spaceship. That kind of shit's going on. It's gonna be fucked up.
Yep, and The Way Home is actually going to be a 4-session mini-series that I'm running at the end of the month, right up through just before Thanksgiving here in the U.S. It is actually based on Cartoon Network's Over the Garden Wall. It's a very interesting game about souls lost in limbo between life and death, and you're trying to make your way back to life.
Yep. So you're going to want to check that out for sure. And if you want to play with us, hey, apply to the casting call. We try to give priority to people we haven't got to normally play with because we love to play with people we haven't played with before. That's the beauty of this whole thing. And everyone, please, first of all, fuck cancer. Please donate to National Breast Cancer Foundation. That's important. But on top of that, mental health, everyone, is a serious matter. It's not a joking matter. Please take mental health seriously. Check in on those around you. Try to be just a voice for them, because some people need that lifeline right now. And if you suffer from mental health issues, please reach out to those around you. Or if you feel you can't, right now in chat, list the names or numbers that you can call or text 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Somebody will help you and talk with you. And if you're not in America, there's, of course, a website link right there in chat. You can use that website link, find out the support in your country. Also, in chat right now is the link to the National Breast Cancer Foundation donation. And I'm adding also a link to their website if you want to find out more about the great things they're doing as they're pushing to get everybody screened. And part of this Game Pink initiative.
Because early detection saves lives.
Yes, it does. And I'm going to turn it over for Relin for her part.
National Breast Cancer Foundation is a charity that I am very passionate about because I am a nurse. And I believe that the services they provide to folks that need it is just amazing. They literally are a boots on the ground foundation that really does reach out and help people. And as a nurse, I do my due diligence to try to help people every chance I get. And one way I'm going to try to help you is to tell you, go get your COVID vaccine. Seriously, if you are fully vaccinated, thank you. Much love to you. Thank you for being part of the solution and not part of the problem. Please, 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 if you have been on the fence about getting vaccinated, go get it done. Please. It'll save yourself. It will help save the lives of those that are around you. Please go get vaccinated. Thank you.
And from the cast of this amazing show and as storyteller, it's my privilege to run this game for these group of players. I thank you all for coming in, for all the people who donated, and for everything else. Thank you. Join us on the Discord and join us next week, because you won't want to miss what's coming up. So thank you, everyone. Good night.